Nailed it.
Nailed it. What's up now?
Welcome everybody to another edition of Snooze Button, Run Button's weekly morning live show where we talk a little bit and then play a little bit of a game. I'm not sure if you actually heard this music or not. My bad. But if not, just pretend there's some nice music happening. The same music every week. You know, just the usual one. Pop that into your head where it goes. And now it's over.
It's Dispatch by the J. Arthur Keenes Band. You can go find it yourself and play it.
The J. Arthur Keenes Band. The letter J.
Letter J.
Not J-A-Y. That'd be nuts.
Just one guy, and his name's not J. Arthur Keenes. Just so you know.
It's fine. Hey, listen, it's not... I didn't name their thing that. You know? You're gonna... Hey, this... They made music and they're like,
no judgment.
Listen, I'm just saying, we've never said the real name of the person who makes our music, but that they decided that their name wasn't their name. That's not my fault. Yeah. J. Arthur Keenes Band.
But it still says their real name in the description of the music. Like it says written by this person's real name. I just don't remember it.
They don't have that. Not this file.
If you go to Bandcamp.
Oh, not if I go to the properties of this audio file. In the details of this audio file, it says... Yeah, it says... attributes A. Size...
It says attributes A?
10.8 megabytes. File name dispatchintro.wave. That's not the original file. I was hoping if I went to details, it would say like created by Kylie Churchill. I'm like, oh, this says I made this.
Oh, I guess they're not putting their real name in the bottom of it anymore. They were for a long time.
It's bad
okay,
out
here
there.
We go. Yeah. Okay. When there's multiple people working on it, they're all credited, and so Rob McClay is who J. Arthur Keenes is.
Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. Or Dan. Is it Dan?
It's Dan.
McClay?
It's Dan.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's Dan. Sorry, they're brothers.
Oh. Okay.
So I was like, McClay. I remember that.
Oh, okay. Because the one I remembered was Dan, so I was like, nope, it's a Dan. That's wrong.
Yeah. So I got McClay.
All right. I got Dan. We made it. We made it.
Yeah. So that's who does. That's to make up for the times that we don't mention the J. Arthur Keenes Band. This extended, what is the J. Arthur Keenes Band's guy's real name, is brought to you by us forgetting to say that
for like, you know, the whole year or whatever.
Hey, some good music, good music on the J. Arthur Keenes Band.bandcamp.com.
And also
still have most of this stuff on my music player.
Also, our outro was kind of mostly done by the J. Arthur Keenes Band. It was also that and someone else who Statics, who then went by Stat, who then probably doesn't exist they might literally be dead. That person is dead now. You know, it was like a Bandcamp collab from like 15 years ago, so like of course, like it's just, you know,
it was a pre-Bandcamp collab.
Oh god.
It was a collab for like an 8-bit music forum.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Because like
here we go. I'm gonna go on. I'm here on the Bandcamp. I'm gonna tell you from ascending chronological order which ones of these I remember that I actively like and listen to still.
How is that?
1, Computer Savvy.
How is that helpful?
It's I think, well, because there's there's like 20 entries here.
I guess I just meant how is it helpful to interrupt what I was gonna say to be like, I'm just gonna list J.
Because
Arthur
actually
Keen's
I was gonna do
songs.
this already and you interrupted me to say your other thing, so
Fine.
we're going back to me now. Computer Savvy, Songs for Camilla, Something About Villages, Mighty Social Lion.
These are
Who
song
Loves the Sun?
titles.
No,
They're
these
track
are album titles.
Oh, these are album titles.
No, he's got like 23 albums.
Yeah, he's just always
27. Yeah.
Another third. We have a third J. Arthur Keen's intro or outro song that gets used extremely occasionally called Color Television, and that one's good too.
That one I believe is from Mighty Social Lion. No,
it's from Computer Savvy.
Something older.
Come on, Keith. It's called
this. Actually, the original one's not on Bandcamp, but the original one is it? I can't remember which one is the band and which one is the J. Arthur Keen's album, but it's Pamplemousse, I think. It's
wait, what? I remember Pamplemousse, but what are you confused about?
There is a French Canadian band with a very similar name.
Oh, well, no, I mean the Dispatch comes from the EP Pamplemousse.
Yes, which is why that's why I'm bringing it up, because it's not on the Bandcamp.
Okay,
gotcha. It's bangers start to end.
Sure. Yeah, our outro, the thing I always felt weird about with our outro is that we got permission from Dan McClay to use it, but it wasn't, he was like the second artist on that track, not the original one, and we never got a hold of the original person, but I did hear the original version and it sounds nothing like the version we use, so
yeah, it's
whatever.
way different. Yeah. My cat's in the other room screaming. Why are you screaming?
We use.
My cat's in the other room screaming.
Okay, I just had a quick pause just to listen to the stream. It sounds pretty good, all things considered. Sounds great considering I have this AC roaring right next to me. Don't give a fuck. It's so hot. Oh my god, please kill me.
Is maybe that why your voice sounds terrible to me?
I think the AC was off when we were determining that, possibly, but you know, it could happen.
If you wanted to go and double check noise suppression or the other way that click that off, I would not hate that.
Click it off
if it's on. Right, I don't want to suppress noise.
Okay,
I want the noise.
All right,
I would.
Yeah, I'm bringing the noise, baby. Here it comes.
Oh, bring the noise.
You probably don't hear it, but it's been brought. Oh wait, no. I had
second one.
There's a second one.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm now looking at this, and this is the fifth time in a row that I've used Discord and have gone and looked at the settings, and noise reduction and noise suppression keeps getting automatically turned back on. Every time I use Discord, it's turned back on. I keep turning it off. I want it on. I have expensive audio equipment that does this for me. I do not need Discord's stupid, terrible software solution.
You know, and I am hearing that, and I will say I've not had that problem. I'm pretty sure when I turn it off, it stays off. I just often turn it back on. But I'll say there's a bunch of dumbasses, like millions of them, using Discord, and all of them have noisy ass mics, and all of them don't know how to use Discord, and all of them need that noise suppression turned on. So I'm not necessarily gonna blame Discord too badly.
No,
if they're defaulting it on,
setting off, it should stay off.
That is true. That is true. We cannot deny that. This we hold Discord to be self-evident as this bird I'm holding.
Hey, Discord. Skype called. It wants its stupid, broken bullshit back.
Oh no!
Oh.
Yo, did you hear about the sick shit that Skype does have these days, though? It's totally fucked. Okay. So apparently Skype is still unusable because their audio is still total garbage, which is sad. But apparently they have a thing where, like, I don't know if there's a user limit, if it's like up to 4 or whatever, but if you're doing like a video call where you're either got video or screen share going, all of the individual user video feeds are pullable as sources in OBS and XSplit from Skype. Like, you don't have to screen capture, you can just pull it in like a source. And that's sick.
That is sick. Doesn't Discord do that though?
No.
Like a little bit?
No.
It does pull in apps as a source. You can go to screen share application window.
No. Other way, the opposite way. You can pull it from Skype into OBS. Like if we're both playing a game and you're screen sharing with me and I want people to be able to see your screen, I can just pull your feed into XSplit.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey, try getting better audio then.
Yeah, I know, right? That. Like, how the fuck? God. Like, come on, guys.
It's fake. It is not real. Just increase the bit rate.
Microsoft is a strange and mysterious beast.
I don't want to pretend like I know how to develop an app, but I have to imagine.
I will. I'll pretend that.
I've got to pretend that. Like, they just use codecs that sound like shit, like forever. Like, oh no, it could be 5,000.
No. For real, I fully expect that this is some kind of thing where, like, the Skype compression algorithm hasn't been rewritten in like 15 years, and they're just like at the max bit rate that the algorithm allows, and they're like, oh, rewriting that'd be the really expensive thing. But our user survey shows that no one's that dissatisfied with the audio quality because everyone else left. Yeah.
Right. Everyone else is using Discord.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was people were worried about Microsoft buying Discord, which I get. I remember. I don't know if Discord has decided.
Did that happen?
Not to sell. Okay. No, it was like Discord was like, we don't fucking know how to make money on this thing. Our ideas aren't working. Yeah. We tried to open up a store, didn't work. I wouldn't be surprised if they came out and said, like, we have like a pro subscription thing, but why would anybody buy that? Like, it's almost totally useless. Like oh, I get to use emojis from one server in another server for like what, $15 a month? Great, awesome.
But Keith, you can make a personal server. So you can make a personal server no one will join, load it up with all the emojis that you love personally, and then you can use them on every server because you have Discord Turbo.
Yeah.
I don't want to be Discord.
I don't want to be that guy, but I basically don't use emojis ever. Sometimes I do. Sometimes
sad.
But
sorry to hear you're not living.
Yeah.
Well, we mourn for Keith. We mourn.
Maybe this would be solved if I spent a week like nonstop researching the best emojis in the world and uploading them to a personal server. But as it stands, I look at my list of available emojis and I go, none of these fully capture what I mean them to. And I always see videos of people or like tweets. I'm always seeing viral content about like
I'm always seeing viral
that
content.
Emoji means one thing, but actually it means another thing, and it's like, I don't want to have to deal with that. Like, the emoji was supposed to be a shorthand, and now you send the wrong emoji, and people are like, are you mad? And it's like, no, I'm not mad. I used this thing. This thing means I thought that was funny. And it's like, no, everyone agrees that this thing means that you're mad.
Keith, did you use the laughing with tears in your eyes emoji? Because that's the emoji that means you think something's funny.
That's the one that everyone thinks is cool to use when something's funny.
I mean, I don't think it's cool to use. It's just the one emoji that conveys you think something's funny. So it's the only option.
No, that's actually, I don't know. I can't tell if you're doing a bit or not. But
I'm genuinely not.
That is the most recent thing that I saw, which is that a lot of people think that that's the emoji that you use when something's funny, and a lot of people think that that's the emoji that you use when you're not cool.
I really did see
news
this.
I saw
me.
this a month
when you're
ago.
not cool. What do you mean not cool? Like you're not okay? Like you're in a bad mood? Like
no, like you're just like a loser, an uninteresting, boring person. Yeah,
that doesn't mean anything. So, what are you talking about?
I saw it. Hey, I saw it. And this is why I don't use emojis.
No,
I don't want to.
Whatever. No, see,
hey,
no. Listen, Keith. If you're not an emoji person, that's fine. But I'm just saying, if you were an emoji person, you would just. In the same way that we argue about language all the time, we're just like, no, this word's for this and this word's for this. I know how this. I've been speaking English my whole life. Like, if you were an emoji person, you'd just have strong opinions about emojis. You'd just be like, no, that means you think something's funny. Fuck you, because that's how I feel. I'm an emoji person. Ask me anything. I know all the answers to the emoji questions.
Now you sound really confident that you're an emoji person, but you're the one that didn't know that people think the crying laughing emoji isn't cool anymore.
Isn't cool anymore. That's
long shorts on the Twitch says it means that you're old as fucking don't play Roblox. So how do you feel about that?
Well, I am and I don't. So
yeah, there you go.
No, I mean, listen, I don't. Okay, listen, Keith, if we want to be real, I'm not using that emoji very often, but...
Well, that's just because you don't think many things are funny.
Listen, Keith, I read a book that was published. It could not have been more than 2 years ago. It could have been more than 2. It couldn't have been more than 3. And in that book, they claimed that... basically
wait to hear what they claimed.
It's like this. It's like this is a thing. It was a book about it's a book written by a linguist, and they were talking about how some people have been trying to be like, emoji's a new language, and this person's like, let me explain how emoji's not a language and it is instead this other type of speech thing. And they're explaining how, because you can't write sentences that can be understood with only emojis. And so they were going through and just looking at what are the most common strings of emojis that people are using. They analyzed some huge amount of text, maybe it was from Twitter or whatever, and it was the top 3 most used strings of emojis are 1 laughing face, 2 laughing faces, and 3 laughing faces. So it's the most, it was the most popular emoji 2 or 3 years ago when that book was written. I guess things do move fast, but whatever. Or, just to add a little weight to the length of time, it could have been more 4 or 5 years since the book was researched. It's true.
Yeah, but
also,
things move fast. 2 years is a long time online.
Things move fast, but Keith, we're getting older, and what we're gonna run into is what happens when you get older is you stick with the things you know, and the people who are young intentionally do different things than the people who are older than them because they think everything that people who are older than them do is poison. So they will just change the thing on purpose and then turn around and be like, that's not cool. Only uncool old people do that. And you'll just be like, fuck you, loser. You're just trying hard to be different from me.
Yeah, okay, but to be fair, people have been using, before emojis, there was just punctuation that people put into little shapes.
Oh, thank God. But wait, Keith, what if we go all the way back to, say, hieroglyphics? Those were pictures.
What's your point? It's not the pictures that I take issue with.
Anyways, what were you saying?
That
they don't want.
But people have been using little faces to convey things for essentially my entire life. It used to just be a colon and a smiley face, and now it's a picture of that guy
so different.
As a cartoon, right?
Sure.
I never use them. So
okay.
I'm not resist. It's not that I'm deciding, I don't like these, so I'm not going to use them. I decided this when I was a kid, trying to be different, and then never changed.
Whoa. There you go.
Because everyone else was using them, and I was like, this isn't adding anything for me, and I think it's stupid. And I just never stopped thinking that.
To me, I don't think it's not stupid, but I find it totally invaluable for helping convey your meaning through text. Like, yeah, I just
totally. It's totally
ran into way too invaluable.
I meant to say, you say invaluable. I'm thinking totally not valuable.
You're thinking
not valuable.
You're thinking worthless. Yeah, that's hilarious. I mean, honestly, no offense, you seem like the kind of person who gets misunderstood through text constantly. So I don't feel like you're disproving the thing I'm saying.
No, I never get misunderstood through text. The only person who ever misunderstands me ever is you. You're the only person that I ever have misunderstandings with in my whole life.
In your whole life?
Yeah, genuinely, yes, in my whole life.
Great. Love it.
There's no it's time.
Well, there you go. We just communicate differently.
Yeah. And to be fair, it does pretty much mostly happen through text.
Yep.
But yeah, you're the only person that I have this issue with.
Okay. And
you need me to start using emojis? Do you need me to start?
I need you to.
That I was feeling really tired. Should I have been like a sick face?
I needed a sick face. I needed a sleeping face and two sick faces, and then I would have really gotten it.
Because when I was like, I'm tired, and
I can't believe you're bringing this up. Listen. Hey, this is your chance. You can lay down your arms and walk away from this topic right now. But if we're walking onto this battlefield, I'm gonna fucking decimate you.
No, this is not a malicious misunderstanding. This is just two people with two different kinds of ideas. I was feeling really tired, and my opinion is if we're both feeling really tired, it doesn't make the best run button shows. So I was thinking that we could postpone by a few hours or until tomorrow. And I told Kylie I was tired, and she said that she said I'm exhausted. And so to me, I was like, oh, I just said I was tired. And when I say I'm too tired to do run button, what I mean is I think I'm too tired to drink a cup of coffee and for the coffee to do anything but make me feel like a lunatic. Like, that's sort of my zone of too tired, is like, I'm too tired to do something effectively, and I think drinking coffee will make it worse. So I'm kind of stuck in this too tired zone. And so when Kylie said she was exhausted, I was like, oh, slam dunk, we should postpone. Nobody would disagree with me that someone who's feeling as bad as I am and someone who's feeling even worse than that shouldn't do a show where they've got to be like on. And you disagreed because you were like, no, I'll be fine in a half an hour. And my thing was like, I only brought it up because I believed that I wouldn't be fine in half an hour.
Yeah, see, I think the
normal disagreement. Misunderstanding, not disagreement.
Yeah, misunderstanding. I think what happened was, like you said, I'm too tired to do the show, which I genuinely, without exaggeration, feel like you say most weeks, if like almost every week. And so I'm like, this is normal. Like, when I said I'm exhausted, I meant it like, yeah, I'm also tired. That doesn't mean we don't do the show. Like, I didn't mean I was I guess I was exaggerating. I was exaggerating, and you were like, what's the opposite of exaggerating? You were like, I think you were using extremely muted language. Like, you were saying, I'm tired. And I'm like, yeah, of course, we're both tired. It's a morning show. You're always tired. We're tired in the morning.
You were suggesting games because I had not thought of a game to play, so I asked you to think of a game to play. And you were suggesting multiplayer games, and my point was I'm too tired to play a game on the stream. So you
Anyways,
need to be the one that plays it.
I don't think we're gonna get any interest out of this. It just came down to like we just used different words and misunderstood each other's meanings of those words. That's really all it was.
I'll say for going forward, if I don't think that I say that we should I don't say that we should postpone all that often. I think it's maybe, like 10% of the time.
Whew.
Yeah. Which I don't think is crazy. No one's. We don't have a boss.
I don't think
no one's gonna get mad if we're not here on time.
We have people that pay us money.
Not for Snooze Button.
But anyways,
these people are freeloaders.
I will say this: I don't think 10% is a crazy amount to want to postpone. I do think it is crazy that you think that you only say it 10% of the time, because it's much more than that.
Well, the problem is that you always say no and make me do the show anyway. And so I'm like, well, there's one in the bank. We didn't postpone it last week. I'm tired this week, so let's fucking postpone it this week.
All right.
Eventually,
listen,
I'm going to get to do the show not tired because you're going to say, well, it's been so long since we postponed it. Then so sure, because you're all that stands in between me and doing the show at 1 p.m. one week.
If you just wanted to do it at 1 p.m., that would have been fine.
I know.
When you said postpone, I thought you meant postpone it till next week. That's what you usually mean.
No, when I say postpone, I usually mean do it at like 1 or 3.
Oh,
like that.
All right. Well, anyway, we also have, and this whatever. There's nothing we haven't talked about a million times. It comes up a lot on the marathons, but you and I just have different tiredness modes. Like when I wake up and I'm exhausted, I know I'll feel fine once the show starts. Yeah. I don't think you're the same way.
No. So when I wake up and I feel better now than I was expecting to. I still feel like shit. But a lot of times when I wake up feeling like this, I feel like this until 5 p.m. And then I'm awake until 5 a.m. It's bad sleep. It's bad sleep stuff. We have ADHD. It makes you sleep bad and it makes you feel weird when you don't indulge in sleeping.
Sorry, I'm catching up on the chat. Cindy says, I always perfectly understand what Keith is saying. Oh, thanks so much, Cindy. I didn't know you were texting Cindy with Keith every day. Yeah. Listen, is this possible? Is it possible that people misunderstand you and I over text equal amounts, but my reaction to being misunderstood is, oh God, I have to be understood better, and your reaction is, fuck them, they should have understood me. I honestly think that's it.
No, I think number one, I think that you text more than me.
That's undeniably true. That was the other thing I was gonna say when you're like, oh, like you only like our texts. I'm the only one who misunderstands you via text or whatever. I was gonna say like you also don't text. You're always Keith will find any reason to leave his phone behind, and I'm the opposite. I'm always like carrying it around with me like it's a magic ring I found in a cave.
If I'm in my house, I talk shit about Bluetooth all the time. I think Bluetooth is not a convenience; it's a prison. When it's all you have access to is Bluetooth. I hate it. Bluetooth, right?
How did we get on Bluetooth?
I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
The payoff is in the second half. The best use case for Bluetooth for me is I can put my Bluetooth earbuds in and leave my phone in another room and still be listening to a podcast, even though I don't have my phone on me. Because I just don't like to have my phone on me when I'm at home, because it just leads to scenarios where I'm already like being lazy and doing like whatever I want to do, and instead I'm ignoring that and looking at my phone.
Yep.
So I'm like, I've already got like Twitter on one screen and a video game on the other screen of my computer, and I'm still on my phone looking at Twitter. And it's like, fuck this stupid phone. Let me put it away. I don't want it.
Yeah,
I don't want it. I'm this close. I'm so close to getting rid of it.
Yeah, over the past year, the big step I took in the past year was breaking away from like Twitter on my phone. Mostly because suddenly I had nowhere to be and Twitter was the only thing going on in my life, and I became like even more obsessed with it to the point that I was wasting like hours a day just like doom scrolling through Twitter. And I finally got away from that so that I don't just take out Twitter anytime I'm bored, which is really nice. Basically,
now what have you replaced that? What equally unhealthy thing have you replaced that with?
Genuinely probably staring at the wall, like for like probably just daydreaming. Like
that's better. I think it
is genuinely better, like honestly, like that was the thing, like I don't think Twitter was a necessarily healthy presence in my life before the pandemic and everything, but the past year has just made like every time I go on Twitter, I just see a bunch of stuff that makes me upset or mad or sad or whatever, and it's awful. And usually what happens is nowadays, most of the time I come to Twitter to post like, hey, there's a new Run Button update out, but instead I get caught by something on one of the update feeds, and then I'm doom scrolling for 30 minutes, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't fucking post. The whole reason I came here was just to say episode 15 of our Metal Gear Solid Let's Play is out on YouTube now, and you can watch it. It's good. And that's true.
I think I'm lucky.
The thing I said is true. Go watch it.
Go watch it. I think a lot of the Twitter. So first of all, actually, let me look at this. I'm gonna go to your Twitter. You follow 200, little under 200 more people than me.
Mm-hmm. How many?
And I think, how many more? How many total do you follow? You follow 629.
It's too many.
And I follow 465.
It's too many.
I think 465 is pretty low. I could get it down maybe. I've worked hard. One of the things that I have perpetually worked hard at is to not follow too many accounts. I don't have a lot of doom to scroll through. Like, I basically can spend 10 minutes scrolling through Twitter and be like, well, that's the last 6 hours worth of Twitter that I missed.
But that's the thing, is that
because it's
the thing for me though is that like I don't get to the end and go, that's the end of Twitter. I get to the end and like scroll back up, like my brain, like I'm not consciously deciding like, when am I done, when is it enough? My brain is just like more forever.
Yeah. Well, but the other half of it is also that because and this is less true now because I've been trying to use it less, but I used Twitter partially as a place to vent politics stuff, and so it like I don't follow a ton of politics stuff on my Twitter, so I don't actually see it. I see it other places and bring it to Twitter. I'm putting doom into your scroll, but there's not a lot in my own.
Great.
Yeah. So that also helps.
Yeah, that's good. Great.
I don't follow a lot of politics stuff.
Yeah, I follow too much politics stuff.
Not a ton. I don't follow. I mean, not none. I don't follow none. I definitely have some politics follows, but yeah. Hey, I'm not trying to say my Twitter habits are healthy. I do the same shit where I'll like finish reading it and just absentmindedly start reading it again.
Yeah.
It's like, why am I doing this? Like, what is what could I possibly be getting from this subconsciously that consciously I'm like bored actually and not enjoying it? I don't know the answer. I've been playing a video game. I've been playing several video games. Actually.
What video games?
So I've mentioned this before. I'm almost done with Judgment, the Series X update to Judgment that they put out. I'm so glad it's on the Xbox now. It's so good. What a fantastic game. I haven't played every Yakuza game, obviously. I haven't played 4, 5, or 6 or Like a Dragon. So more than half. I haven't played more than half, but
I've played 6 Like a Dragon. It's the best way to play it.
So Like a Dragon. You played 6? Like
yeah, I haven't played Yakuza Like a Dragon, but I have played Yakuza 6, and I played it like a dragon.
Like a dragon would, yeah.
Really, I guess you're always when you're in Yakuza, you're always playing like a dragon because you're the dragon of Dojima. Except in Like a Dragon, that's when you're playing like a dragon. It's in the title. You're still like a dragon.
That's why they had to say that you're still like a dragon, even though you're not the dragon of Dojima anymore.
That's why it's in there.
That's why it's in there. And in Judgment, that's the only one that you play not like a dragon. So I don't think I would like a dragon. I really don't think I would like it. I think it leans when I look at it, I'm like, first of all, it takes a lot to get me to want to play a turn-based RPG.
I don't think you'd like it.
And then I also feel like the best thing about the Yakuza series is how well it balances the goofy stuff with the serious stuff. And a game like Judgment, which leans a little bit further in the serious side, is so amazing that I look at Like a Dragon, which leans a little more on the goofy stuff, and go, I think that would just irritate me. I think it's too goofy, and I feel like I would miss some of the seriousness because a lot of what's fun and funny about the Yakuza series is how self-serious it's being. And when you're being self-serious but also twice as ridiculous, I don't know that the formula still works for me. But Judgment's got to be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that Like a Like a Dragon is much more silly than the other entries in the Yakuza series, is it? I mean, I haven't really heard that. Oh, well, I guess it is a step goofier. Yeah, I haven't heard people describing it as one of the primary attributes of the game, but I mean, it does have the silly summons or whatever.
Yeah, I think part of that is people who have I
mean, the whole turn-based premise of the game is pretty goofy.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people not noticing how much goofier it is. Maybe it's people who have played less or seen less Yakuza. I don't know. I don't want to be like, or maybe if you don't think it's sillier, then it's because you know less than me. But
maybe they're just
definitely just reads as much sillier to me.
Maybe the silliness is just what they wanted. So when they got it, they went, yeah, that's Yakuza.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, because I think I think it is one of the primary things that people like about the Yakuza series in general.
Yeah.
And so when they tone up the silliness, they're just like, yeah, that's Yakuza more. They're doing more. Well,
I don't know if you heard this. They're saying that Yakuza, their plans for Yakuza are to make it turn-based going forward, and that but I also heard, and I don't remember if this is speculation or confirmed, but that they're gonna make another Judgment, and that'll probably still be the action based.
Oh, thank God, because Judgment is, I think Yakuza 0 is probably still my favorite of them, but I think Judgment, and this is silly to make this distinction maybe, but I think Judgment is the best Yakuza game. It's so fucking good. All of the stuff that is interesting about a Yakuza story, it takes it and turns it all the way up. It takes the sort of subtle complexity of a Yakuza game, which basically, if you haven't played a Yakuza game, here's the gist. There is some minor seeming Yakuza dispute that leads to the main character, Kiryu, getting involved in an alarming and increasingly broad conspiracy that ends up having to do with the politics of a land deal. And that's all. It's always that. It's always something about real estate. It's always some like connection between the government and the Yakuza, and it's always
because
Kiryu getting framed for something.
Because fundamentally the Yakuza is a real estate business, Keith.
I mean kinda. And also fundamentally those stories are like, at least 40% at their core. It's at least noir shaped.
Yeah. Chris, there are always, since the beginning of time, there have been scurrilous rumors abound constantly about the Yakuza and all the bad things they supposedly do. But we know that this is all just bad faith criticism from people trying to knock down the good and lowly, and that the Yakuza is just a reputable real estate and protection business, security business. And we know that.
Right. And finger meat business.
God, they have delicious finger meat. We don't know where it comes from, but it's really good.
And just like the way that same story gets packaged into Judgment is like really, really good. Like, I cannot overstate how Judgment is like, what if the Yakuza story was like an A instead of a B plus or like a B? It's so good. So I've been playing that. I'm almost done with it. It just gets
not
better
not even the goofy twist at the end that didn't bother you. I heard one of the big twists from Judgment. It sounded pretty goofy. Like sci-fi, like science fiction goofy, like, oh, okay.
I don't know.
That couldn't happen in real life. I
really don't know what you're talking about, so maybe.
Oh, you don't. There's nothing. There's nothing in the story that you're like, oh, that's not possible in real life.
Do you want to send it to me?
Yeah.
On the Discord, and I'll confirm or deny whether what you heard is real, and if it plays like weird. To me, none of it plays like sci-fi. So. See.
I'm typing. I don't remember it very well, so I'm like, you're not worried I'm about to like spoil the end for you?
I beat the game already when it came out. Yeah. No, this is not how this is.
Oh,
you have misinterpreted what someone said.
Okay.
About this game.
Gotcha.
This is like sort of. This is like 70% right.
Okay.
The vehicle for what is happening here is like totally normal.
Okay.
Like it's
All right. I thought I heard something that was like almost science fiction that just really turned me off the whole game, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. So the basic one of the major facets of the game, one of the things that you end up investigating is I don't want to spoil anything.
It's fine.
Anybody.
You don't spoil it. It's fine. I mean, honestly, I probably got the spoiler right once upon a time. It's just been so long I don't remember what it is, but it's fine.
Yeah, there's really, I mean, it's science fiction in that a part of the story is about like a pharmaceutical product that doesn't actually exist. One of the things is there's a facility that a murder took place, and at that facility, they're developing a cure for dementia, and that doesn't exist.
Right.
And so that's science fiction, but that is like sort of the end of science fiction.
Okay.
It's like that's like as long as you can accept the premise that there could be a drug for dementia, then everything plays normally.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
So I've been playing that. That's great. It's really good. I'm still playing. I don't have anything new to say about this except for that I'm still playing it. I'm still playing MLB The Show.
Good. Oh,
So that's wild.
you know, Keith, in the past week or two, I've fallen down one of those holes. I've fallen into the comfortable genre of guy explains an interesting thing from a baseball game on YouTube, and then you watch
you've been watching John Boy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I've been watching John Boy.
Everyone should be watching John Boy. That channel rules. It's so good.
I know everything about baseball now. Keith, ask me anything.
This is the sort of funny thing that happened.
You want to know who was the shortstop? You want to know who the shortstop for the White Sox in 1987 was, the starter in their opening game? Because I could tell you.
Who was it?
I can't tell you. I lied. I'm sorry.
I thought maybe this was like a thing that you accidentally remembered, like from some video that you watched.
No, that'd be good though. I should have.
This is the genre of this is what happens when I have access to the main account that you watch YouTube on, but you don't have access to the main account I watch YouTube on. And so I will search on the search bar for that channel specifically to watch these videos, and then they just start showing up for you, and you'll just be like, that looks funny, let me click on that. And then now you're like, you heard of this John Boy thing? And I'm like, yeah, of course I have.
Oh no, well, yeah, I mean, I knew you would know John Boy.
Yeah.
I think what happened was I think I saw the video about the sticky stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, I mean I know all about the sticky stuff, but tell me about the sticky stuff. Yeah, and it's funny. It was just like I was like, Keith. When Keith told me about the sticky stuff, he was basically just reading from this John Boy video.
There's not a. I mean, what else could I have said about it?
No, I don't know.
There's not a ton of information. Or not because it's mysterious, but because it's so simple. There's the first.
Yeah. So anyways, I've been playing tons of WoW Classic, and I have started boiling down Coca-Cola to keep my fingers glued to the mouse and keys.
There was the first ejection from the sticky stuff. It ended up being kind of boring because it seems like all he had on him was the legal rosin bag that they keep on the mound.
What?
There's a rosin bag on the mound.
No, I know. Keith, Keith, maybe you didn't hear me before. I know everything about baseball. I know about the rosin bag on the mound. Thank you. I'm saying,
so
how can they eject them for only using the rosin bag, Keith? That's legal.
Because when it mixes with your sweat, it becomes sticky, and the fucking umpires don't know anything about this stuff.
That's fucking insane.
All they know is and so all I'm saying is this is what I heard that it seemed like was that he was trying to he had his arms were sticky, and the umpire was like, why are your fucking arms sticky, dude? And it's like, because we sweat when we play baseball, and when the rosin mixes with the sweat, it becomes sticky, which is why sunscreen and rosin is a really popular thing, because the sunscreen and the sweat and the rosin is like more sticky than just the rosin and the sweat. And they
also do a thing where they intentionally rub it like in between their fingers over and over again, and that makes it like extra sticky, like the rosin and the mixture and stuff.
The rosin is there to absorb the sweat, because if your hands are sweaty and you try to throw the baseball, it'll slip. They seem to understand that your hands shouldn't be wet when you try to throw the ball, but then the substance that absorbs that moisture becomes sticky on your hands. It's really when you start adding like industrial waste to your hands.
Yeah, why don't you know what?
To make them like glue.
We sort of jumped into like square 2 or 3 on the conversation. Do you want to back up and explain the sticky stuff?
Have we not talked about this on a show?
It was personally. We talked about it over the phone. Tell us about sticky stuff in baseball pitching and the current controversy.
If you don't know about baseball, it's a sort of game where there's waves of different kinds of cheating, and there always have been, because baseball is an incredibly difficult sport with bizarre rules. There's a lot of really, really weird baseball rules, and I think this is personal opinion. I think baseball has not just the weirdest rules, but the weirdest as a game is a weirder game than most other sports. And it leads to a lot of people having weird ideas on how to do things. I think a lot of people have heard about the steroid scandal in baseball. I think a lot of people have heard about corking bats. Turns out, I think, not that the Mythbusters are the end all be all of fact, but they did a corked bat episode, and they seem to say that not only does corking your bat not seem to help very much, it might actually make you a worse batter.
That's funny, because I always did think like there's less weight in the bat. How did
Right. So the mass hitting the ball would not be as hot. The idea is that having a corked bat makes it lighter so you can swing it a little faster. But it also destroys the structural integrity of the bat. So you're more likely to break it, which is bad because you will not hit the ball well if the bat breaks, but also you'll get found
but
out.
Also, yeah, you'll
tried to cheat, whether it helped or not.
You'll also be ejected for cheating.
Yeah. So the most recent thing that's happening is about 10 years ago, or maybe between 15 and 10 years ago, they started tracking spin rate on balls, and people started noticing
less than that. It was like 5.
That was 2007 is where they introduced the tracker that tracks spin rate on balls.
I heard it was 2015. That's what I heard. And Keith, I've been researching this.
I think earlier, but I don't think anybody noticed the correlation until later.
Okay.
People started noticing there was a correlation between spin rate on balls and strikeouts, and the sticky substances that people have been using for a while. People were using stickier stuff than none of it's allowed, but stickier stuff than the sort of gray area section where it's like, okay, well, you have the rosin bag, we can't tell you not to wear sunscreen, we can't make you not sweat, so we can't really throw you out for sunscreen, rosin, and sweat mixed on your hands, because you're supposed to have the rosin bag there for your hands. It's just going to happen that there's going to be sunscreen and rosin. There's pine tar in the dugouts for people to put on their bats. He puts them on your glove. You're not supposed to, but whatever, who cares? People started using stickier stuff than that. And that's sort of when some people noticed that their own spin rates were increasing, and that was directly correlating with strikeouts. And so over the course of the last decade, you have a dramatic increase in pitchers using stuff on their gloves that is technically against the rules, and also is bad for the sport, because games are boring now. Because there's way too many strikeouts, no one's hitting the ball, everyone's either getting struck out, hitting home runs, getting hit by a pitch, or getting walked. And so the stuff has gotten stickier and stickier. More and more pitchers have been using it. It sort of blew up towards the end of last season, where it didn't blow up till this season. It sort of started going around that this stuff was like getting way out of hand. The thing that you'll hear is a product that is available to buy called Spider Tack. I actually think that's sort of a canard. Like, people are like, pitchers are buying Spider Tack. I think that's like a way of individualizing this. This is basically a league-wide conspiracy. This is not pitchers buying Spider Tack to put on their balls.
This is coaches telling pitchers to use this stuff. Supposedly there's even been like, it's like it's going as far supposedly as like teams scouting undervalued pitchers because they know that their team has the right sticky stuff to up their spin rate instantly by such and such an amount. So the Spider Tack, though, is a good example, because you can go look online at what it does, and you can see people put some Spider Tack on their hand and then put their hand on cinder blocks and just lift up the cinder block with an open palm. It's used in construction. It's used in have you heard of Atlas balls? No.
It's a strongman competition where you're lifting up like 300-pound concrete spheres. Yeah. And they use it for that, because it's like, we don't care if you don't grip it. We just want you to lift it. we don't care about spider attack isn't breaking any rules there. And this for the same reason why it's not against rules for batters to use pine tar. They don't get any extra benefit by not having a good grip on the bat. Like, you don't want the bat flying out of their hands either, is the other thing. But so spider attack, you can look that stuff up. But it's really like, MLB teams as organizations making their own stuff as a way to bring pitchers in, both undervalued pitchers and also highly valued pitchers, where you're like, hey, you're already high, you'll be even better here with our even better stuff.
Right.
Where the start of this was Trevor Bauer was a pitcher who.
What do you think about this guy? I saw his YouTube channel.
I like him a lot.
Okay. I don't dislike him. He seems he's a little bit of like a he's a little bit of like a he's like a smart ass kind of know-it-all type. The thing with Trevor Bauer that makes it really interesting is he wasn't using it for a long time and was basically saying this stuff is everywhere and it's creating an unlevel playing field. It's impossible to. A lot of the information that people have now comes directly from him talking and tweeting about it back in like 2016, 2017, 2018. Trying to like show that it's everywhere, show what it does, and talk about why it's not good to use, or at least why everyone should either be allowed or not be allowed to use it. Right.
Doing things like going out and pitching one inning with stuff on his glove, where you can see his spin rate go up by like 20%, which is a huge jump, a jump that he says is impossible to do naturally. You can't train higher spin rate. There is just a physical limit to how fast the ball can spin if it's not being glued to your fingertips. And because the game is so boring right now, MLB, and because of how badly how late MLB has been to respond to scandals in the past, they have fairly quickly, when this started blowing up a few months ago, come and been like, here are our new rules, same as the old rules, except now we're taking it seriously. Instead of tacitly endorsing this stuff, we are now going to start punishing players for using it.
I heard, I think on one video I saw Trevor Bauer was talking about how, and I'm pretty sure this is a very recent video, so they were talking about like current season versus last season, because the season's like, what, did it just start, or it started a couple months ago?
It started a couple months ago, yeah.
I guess last season MLB was like, we're not changing anything about the rules or how we enforce them, but we are going.
That was earlier this season.
Earlier this season?
Earlier this season.
Okay,
like a month ago.
So yeah. The MLB said we're not going to change anything about how we enforce it. We're just going to be like taking balls and doing research on what kind of substances people are using and this and that, and we're gonna. Which
I think is horse shit, because I think they 100% already know exactly what's happening.
But supposedly the thing that at least Trevor Bauer is really upset about now is that they've gone back on that and said, okay, we have rules now, or they're the same rules, but we're just enforcing them now. Right. And Trevor Bauer's pissed about this because he's like,
never been enforced.
Right, because he's like, well, everyone just went through spring training, planning on pitching how they were pitching before, using whatever substances they were going to use. They've been practicing for months with this in mind, and now you're changing the substances you're allowed to hold the ball with, which can end up being dangerous for pitchers' arms or dangerous for batters.
Something that was really good about that video was that he goes through the mechanics of how your arm throws differently when you have the stuff, and when you don't. And so needing a stronger grip on your wrist and needing to like tense your elbow when you don't have sticky stuff, like that is a big change for pitchers who do like a job so dangerous that it is known that if you are a starting pitcher, you will probably need to put a tendon from your leg into your arm at some point. Like, that's part of the job. Like, I mean, it's fucked up. Like, it's horrible that that's part of the job, but it is. And so telling pitchers like, hey, you've got to change the way that the muscles in your arm work, probably, like, if not overnight, then over the course of a week. There's already been an arm injury, and the guy was like, I had to throw different, and it felt weird, and my arm hurts now. Geez, what was his name? Glasnow. Is it another Trevor? Is it Trevor Glasnow? Is that his name? He's on the Rays.
Keith, I've been saying this for years. There's literally millions of Trevors out there among us, walking around like they're the same as you and me. So sorry to interrupt. That is like the really good part about the Trevor Bauer video, who, by the way, I think sort of famously, if not still quote unquote secretly, started using after a multiple season long crusade to bring to light the sticky stuff, was just like, well, fuck it, and started using it in 2019, and then became easily one of the best pitchers in the league, and then signed one of the most expensive all-time contracts with the Dodgers. So proving his point, I think, about the stuff. Like, he was good in 2018, and then he was like the best in 2019. Sorry, you said he got like the highest pitching contract, something?
Yeah, I think it was a $34 million pitching contract with the Dodgers or something like that. Which, just a little bit of fun flavor for the story, one of the other most famous high profile sticky stuff pitchers is Garrett Cole. They went to college together and hated it. So I think that part of this is him looking at his, at the time, more successful college rival openly using this illegal substance and being like, well, fuck Cole. He shouldn't be doing so good. Fuck this. I'm gonna be a weirdo on Twitter about it for multiple years, and then eventually cave and start using it. Anyway, that's just my editorializing about it. But
sticky stuff. It's out there. It's making waves. It's affecting us all. Tell your family what they need to know about sticky stuff.
Yeah,
and
I think the important thing to remember,
arms.
if you see anything about this coming out, because it is starting to creep into like real news, is that, like, I don't blame any pitchers for doing this stuff. What you've got, 70% of major league pitchers using this substance that's never been policed, even though it's technically against the rules, being encouraged by their organizations. And one of Trevor Bauer's longtime points about it, even before he started using it, is like you can't expect pitchers to decide to make less money by having some stupid moral hang up about using sticky stuff when everyone's using it and no one's ever been thrown out of a game for it. Like, what, I'm just gonna not use it and like give up all this money that could potentially be on the table, money that the MLB's is already making. They're just not giving out because, in a way, they're the highest possible limit of what working can get you. Like, it's just like, so far it's a distorted image of a worker, but they are technically workers. They might make $34 million in 10 years, but they're doing it by earning $1 billion fucking dollars for MLB, and they're doing it at the cost of like their bodies. So the problem here are the teams and the MLB as an organization who profited off of these pitchers cheating in this way, and then now that it's not profiting them anymore, they're cracking down on players individually instead of on the people who allowed this to proliferate.
Right.
yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say about
That's
it. I
it.
think.
We got it.
I've been playing Wilder Myth though.
Wilder Myth?
Wilder.
No, it's Wilder Myth.
Wilder Myth.
I heard a podcast ad for it where they called it Wilder Myth.
Wildest myth.
Like wilderness, but a myth about it.
Yeah.
It sounded good. They were like, "This is what our game's like, podcast listener," and I was like, "Damn, you went and described a game that sounds good."
It's good. So I've been seeing it everywhere, like images of it, and I was actually getting kind of annoyed with. I didn't like its look. I didn't like how it looked. I like how it looks now. I didn't like.
You didn't
how it
like its delicate papercraft aesthetic. I haven't seen it. I just heard it described.
Yeah, I actually like looking at like the way it's presented in screenshots. I really didn't like it. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like the way this looks.
Yeah, I really didn't like the way it looked. I like the way it looks now. Like after playing it, I like it.
There's like the title graphic that's kind of like the box art, except it doesn't have box because it's a digital indie game. That looks good, but the screenshots don't look good.
Yeah, but I think when you're playing it as a game, it does look good.
Okay.
And so it was something that it like seeing it everywhere. I'm not proud of this. You go on the Steam page, and I look at it, and I'm like, this doesn't look visually very good. And then I see reviews overwhelmingly positive, recent reviews overwhelmingly positive, and I'm like, that's annoying. Fuck this game. And that's on me. That's my fault for seeing overwhelmingly positive and assuming that means that the game's bad.
How is that possible?
Well, it's the combination of the visual style being like, oh, people like this game because it looks cute.
Sure. I will say,
like,
is this papercraft?
There's a lot of people who just want to play a cute game.
I heard this described as papercraft, but it doesn't look. I thought papercraft was like origami, like folding paper. This isn't papercraft, right? This is just we have 2D sprites in a 3D environment, so everything's flat.
Yeah, but they're stylized as sets, right? Like all the environments are like all of these things are like props, right? That's like because the conceit of the story is that you are playing out a myth in a storybook.
Okay, I'm looking at the screen. I'm looking at the screenshots more up close and longer, and it looks good, I guess.
Right.
It's good.
I think it works a lot better when you see them sort of hop around.
Yeah.
You see, like, I didn't get the book, and so I'm like, oh, it looks sort of like a pop-up book, kind of. Mm-hmm. It's going for that, and I'm like, okay, I get it now. But the game bit is actually good. It's just sort of like a nice, easygoing-ish. I mean, it can get pretty brutal in some ways. It's a tactics game. It's XCOM-y. It's not like brutally difficult like XCOM, but it's also got a lot of like story progression stuff. There's permadeath for your characters. There's one of the interesting things is like when a character loses all their HP, they can retreat and be it says that they can be maimed, which is like a permanent thing, a permanent attribute that the character now brings into any future battle, or they can like die in exchange for temporary, but like I'm gonna die, but before I die I'm gonna give everybody a shield, or I'm gonna die, but before I die I'm gonna take this person with me, or whatever. So It's got, and then like there's like some nice sort of light choose your own adventure stuff that is generally well conceived, if not well written. I think a lot of it is well written, but I think some of it is only well conceived. One of the things is like you're playing through many years. Like you'll play up to a point. You'll reach a 5 or 8 or 9 years of peace, and you'll get little snapshots of what your characters have been doing in the meantime. And then they come back, and it's like, oh, you're a 50-year-old character, but you still are written as if you are the 18-year-old character that I started with. Yeah, and it's because all of those events, all the events are like randomized.
Yeah,
they're like that character pre-written but and randomized, so the character can be encountering the same scenario at 18 or at 58.
Right, like they just wrote that encounter for the character. They didn't know that in your playthrough that character specifically would be in the 50s.
And it seems like there's a pretty decent amount of content. Like I'm on the second myth, and I've only seen one overlapping event out of dozens and dozens of events at this point, but it's got this nice permanence to it. Weird stuff like you find this thing. Like the first thing that happened to me is that we found like this pool of magic, and it's like one of the magic characters like, I can't believe all this magic that I'm feeling from this thing. And my fighter was like, what if I touch it? And she's like, I don't know what happens if you touch it. So the fighter's like, okay, I'm gonna touch it, and she touched it and turned blue, and then she was just blue forever and had some slight buffs. Nice. It was like a small buff to every stat except damage, which had a slight debuff to it. And then later on, I met like a crow god who was like, do you want to be my vessel? And you're like, yeah, sure. And then it's like, okay, now you have crow wings, and I can't remember what the crow wings do for you. Can't fly. I don't remember what the crow wings do. But then after your first break, right? It's like, 9 years passed. Here's your character again. One of their arms is a crow arm now. So they have a crow arm. And then another period later, we come back to the same character, and she's got a crow leg. So this increasingly, there's a lot of transformation stuff. I've seen people get like wolf heads. But so there's a lot of like weird transformation events. I don't know. I think it's good. Cool. When you're done with a story, your characters get retired to a legacy, and they become playable in future stories. You can meet them and re-recruit them, and so it's like, oh, hey, look, it's this character who is a legend from this other story is also now in this story. That's fun, and it is fun. When I saw one of my old characters pop back up, they didn't just hand her to me. Like it sort of felt like I stumbled across her.
Cool.
More than anything. So it didn't feel like it's just like take an old character into the new game with you. It was like, no, 4 hours into this new game, I found my old character. I think it's worth playing. I think it's a little bit cute for me. Like,
wow.
A lot of sometimes cute is good, and sometimes something is cute at the expense of something else. And I think there's a little bit of that going on sometimes, usually with the writing. But it's not enough to hold it against it. It's just like if you're sensitive to a style of writing, this has that style, and maybe you should like watch a video and be like, do I like the writing in this enough to read a lot of it? The tactics are good though. I really like the way magic works here. You can apply magic. It's not like a spell that you're casting, right? You're not like shooting someone with fire. You put your magic onto an item and then cast that item, and different items have different properties. So like wood explodes, but rocks, you can like send like big hunks of rock. It's called discus. So I guess you send like a flying rock knife at someone. And so positioning your character in relation to enemies with respect to what kind of things are around them, because you want to do the most effective thing, is like a pretty nice trick.
Nice.
It's good.
Good. Boy, I think it's the same temperature where you are as where I am.
Yeah.
It is. I even have this AC going full blast. It can't even cool down this room. It's so hot.
I've been having the same problem, and you know what I did?
Bought a window unit.
Okay, so yes. What's that?
Bought a window unit.
No. So I have central air in my place. For anyone listening, I live in a weird loft, and it's sort of it is sort of a win-lose. I have central air. There's a big duct that runs through almost my whole apartment. It doesn't hit my office.
Crucially,
crucially does not hit my office. There is a vent that blows right into the office, which is nice.
Okay.
And when we're not recording and need the door shut, it's totally good in here.
Yeah.
Again, crucially, when we're recording, we usually need the door shut. Although maybe next time we should.
Yeah, I was gonna say that might be slightly arguable that we need the door shut.
Yeah. You know what it was? Last time you were here, Isaac was working.
Isaac was watching TV.
Isaac was working for the first half of when you were here. Yeah. So that was part of it. But anyway, so it blows out a ton of air, but the giant unit that is like up in the loft that does this is really fucking loud and obnoxious. But yesterday, I've been noticing it for a week, but yesterday the AC was on all day and it never got below 75 outside.
Yeah, that's what I have going on right now.
So I was like, again, me being lazy. You know, when you have ADHD, you have ideas and you're like, that's totally a good idea. I should do that. And then you don't for like a whole week.
Only a week?
AC.
Are you kidding me? I would feel like the most functional person in the world if I was getting around to my ideas and plans within a week.
Well, sometimes it's a month. But I think a week is a pretty 1 to 2 weeks is typical for me. I noticed a week ago that the AC was being less efficient than usual. And so I was like, I bet there's something wrong with the filter. Yeah. And it wasn't until last night when it was still 75 degrees.
I know what it was.
Yeah.
It was. I'm guessing because this is what would happen to my central AC at my previous apartment. Was it that the hose that connects to all the ducts came loose, and so it was just spilling cold air into the loft and nowhere else?
Oh, I should double check that. No, it's definitely not that, because it's hottest in the loft. It was that there was, a quarter of an inch buildup of dust on the vent or on the filter. And so it wasn't sucking in air. And I think also that introduces heat problems where it can't get cold enough because, I don't know, maybe there's not enough air coming in to keep the actual cooling thing cool. But
no, that's not how that works.
I mean, immediately fixed it, right? Like it didn't seem to increase the airflow, but removing a ton of that, I'm going to go get a new filter, but removing all of that dust did immediately, it couldn't get below 75. Actually it was at 76, 77 for most of the day yesterday. At night, it got down to 75. And then once I removed the dust, it got down to 70 pretty quick. Okay. Good. Seatbelt says, yes, the hot side needs to cool off for the cold side to get cold. So this is, I think...
Sorry, go ahead.
I think this is part of the problem. It wasn't just that it couldn't intake enough air. It was also to like blow cool air out into the apartment. It also, the bit that sucks in the air was getting too hot, and so it couldn't make it cold enough.
Right. Well, the thing about ACs is that there's two separate air intakes. There's an air intake that's usually, I mean, with a window unit, it's literally, the inside is on the inside, the outside's on the outside. Like, it's like a window unit pulls in hot air from outside and uses that to cool down or whatever. Like the hot side is outside and it's like it needs to be cooled down, but it's being cooled down by the hot air outside. Right. Basically, I'm just saying when you were like, oh, maybe the dust was preventing the air intake from cooling it down. I don't think that would be, if it was the part that sucks in air from inside your apartment, that's probably not what it was, because the inside part is just that the inside part gets cold on its own.
What if both of my parts are the inside part?
Are you sure? It must have. I would imagine this thing has like 3 hoses, like 2 that connect outside and 1 that connects to your air ducts.
Well, imagine
and then 1 that just sucks in ambient air.
Apartment building. Imagine you're living in an apartment building with like 500 units.
Right.
Is there room to get all that air from outside? Like literally space on the building?
Well,
I think it's got to come from inside. Seatbelt says a single vent. Seatbelt seems to know a lot about air conditioners. Says a single vent unit only has 1 intake.
Wow.
So I may only have 1 intake. There are 2 separate hunks of machine up there. I can't remember if.
Maybe it has 1 air intake and like half the air gets cooled and recirculated back to the room, and the other air gets made hot and gets pushed outside.
Yeah. Seatbelts is a general contractor. Thank you, Seatbelts. Yeah, it's huge and loud, and it sucks. But it does it.
Nah, go ahead.
When it does work, it cools. It's nice and cool, which is why I've been like for the last week, like I know fucking something's wrong because it's not nice and cool. Right. And I imagine it's also really energy inefficient to be running an air conditioner all day trying to get it down to 72, which is I think a very conservative temperature to be putting
it's reasonable.
Yeah, I think it's totally reasonable. 72, 75. That's my like nice range. Couldn't even meet that. And then instead of just running all day trying to get it down and then not being able to do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say the way an air conditioner works is that it essentially has to make some air warmer. It's like, it steals warmth from the air in the place you're trying to make colder and puts that warmth somewhere else. So it essentially has to make some air hotter so it can make some air colder.
Yeah,
and usually in a window unit, it's the window unit is the simplest example because it just literally has half of itself outside and half of itself inside.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's my that's
you.
So I guess long story short, you should check the filter, see if it's if your filter is full of fucking dust.
Hey, check the filter on your AC, even if your AC is not having problems, because you're still supposed to do that.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious looking at the buildup of dust on that thing that that it was not checked before I moved in.
Yeah, no, there's no way.
Seatbelts' window units are super efficient. I have actually heard that floor standing units are really inefficient. Before.
Yeah.
I wonder what the efficiency is like on my thing. It's huge, and I don't know whether that makes it more or less efficient. It really is.
Yeah. The thing about the standing unit, I think that's what you have. It's a single air intake where it takes in air from the room, makes half of it hot and pushes it outside, and makes half of it cold and pushes it back inside, which is really inefficient because you're blowing half the cold air out the window. There are some 2-hose standing units where it is pulling air from outside to then push back outside, but I think those are fairly rare.
Yeah, I wonder what mine is. I'll check the hoses next time I'm up there and report back.
All right.
Because I definitely think I'm at least going to need to put a new filter in. But and it is 16 by 20 by 1 is the size of my filter. Got to remember that.
All right.
I'll say that it seems like when it's working, like in my last apartment, which was in this building, and so everything about it was exactly the same in terms of how the AC functioned. It was like really good. Like it cooled down the apartment really quick. and was not as loud. And I wonder if it's louder because it's full of dust. I should maybe have maintenance come and look.
Well, I think having it be full of dust could maybe make it run harder, which would make it probably be louder.
It's really loud. It's like stupid loud. I mean, you've been in here when it's been going on.
I didn't. You'd have to point it out to me next time, and I'll notice it. Yeah.
Well, okay. I'll report back on AC problems. I hope your AC problem is as simple as taking out the filter and removing the dust, and that was all that you needed to do.
No, I have recently cleaned the dust out of the filter.
Okay.
But my thing is just that I have a small, inexpensive window unit and a house that is very much not well insulated, and that's my thing.
Okay. Is it? But you're only trying to cool down your bedroom, right?
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the thing. Like the rest of our house is literally just like a wash. Like we practically don't go there in the summertime. It feels like walking into like a swimming pool, like walking from my room to the hallway.
That sucks.
In order to heat the house properly in the winter, we had to put cellophane wrap over our kitchen windows because those are the only windows in the house that have never been replaced with like energy efficient windows. So in the winter, you can just put your hand up near the glass and feel the cold air rolling in like through the window. We'd have to put that plastic wrap back up to cool the house with an AC if we were going to do that, and I'm sure it would still be escaping through the walls.
Yeah, the worst thing about the house I was renting before I moved back here was that the back door was essentially broken, and all of the heat and AC escaped through that door. Like you could, the whole door was a draft.
Yeah,
like I was like, I don't know if you noticed. I was like perpetually filling cracks in the door with like glue and plaster and like trying to like patch.
Which door was this?
The door that you always came in and left from.
Of your old house.
The one that went through the backyard. Like the wood was rotting and the jam, like the door was like full of cracks that I was constantly patching up, and it's like all to save like a little bit of heat in the winter mostly. It was rough. That was the worst thing about that place. The second worst thing about that place was that the office was about 10 square feet too small.
Definitely
very very slightly too small. Great news. I can see how that would be your least favorite thing. Because that's the part that affects you the most. The great news is that my new office is the size of the downstairs of my old
literally
house.
It's huge. It's literally more space than we could utilize for Run Button. So it's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's so much space that I took the big free chair that I found on the side of the road one time, and I took the table that has all my coffee stuff, and I took all my tea stuff. All that stuff used to be in the dining room. It's now just in the office, and it just like it has its own third. It's like my dining room. The stuff that was in my dining room, now that I don't have a dining room,
it's got its own hutch. It's got its own tea hutch.
It's got its own hutch.
It already had its own hutch.
It's a nice hutch too. What had its own hutch? Oh, the tea. Yeah, I have a much smaller hutch.
Kind of had a hutch. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a huge hutch before.
It was
gigantic. Hutch. Yeah, and now the new hutch is like not big enough. Like literally not enough hutch for my tea.
Mm-hmm. Could check out the sequel, Hutch Lives. All right.
We gonna play a game?
Oh, you didn't want to ask me about any of the stuff I've been doing or experiencing the last week? We're just going to do a straight Keith cast?
Well, you didn't ask me. I had to bring it up on my own, so I thought if you had something, you were going to bring it up on your own.
Oh, okay.
But, so what have you been doing this last week?
Well...
Or 2 weeks, because we recorded Metal Gear. We finished Metal Gear last week and recorded some Shenmue also.
He guessed as well as he could and crawled along for a good way, till suddenly his hand met what felt like a tiny ring of cold metal lying on the floor of the tunnel.
Oh, you've been reading The Hobbit.
Yeah, I've been reading The Hobbit. It just so happened I was on the page after where he finds the ring.
Because was it when you were here last week and we were recording Metal Gear that we were talking about this?
It was, yeah.
Okay, so you can listen to that conversation by watching the Metal Gear Let's Play, but you were talking about
probably. Oh no, you know what? It was on Shenmue. It was on Shenmue. So
I was on Shenmue. Okay, even better. Sign up for go to contentburger.biz to hear us talking.
Oh, I was gonna say. Oh, I meant we should say it again because no one will hear it.
No, well, give us the
not even
the
people who pay to watch Shenmue have been watching Shenmue.
That's only slightly true. Because a lot of people watch from the live stream link. So
yeah, sorry. So anyways, I've been reading The Hobbit.
Eileen's been down because we don't have high enough views on the Shenmue 2 thing, but sometimes she forgets about the live stream links. Which I think has like triple the amount of views.
Right.
Or quadruple the amount of views.
I forgot.
So I think a lot
of
people just watch those. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's just really fun to work on a video and then put it up and then have 7 people watch it in 2 months.
I think that's an underestimation.
I'm talking that one of the Castlevania videos definitely has 7 views. Which is fucked up because that's the good one.
Yeah, that's the one that Kylie likes to do. So you should watch that one.
Anyways,
I also like to do it. It makes it better.
I've been reading The Hobbit, which I had listened to the audiobook twice before. I never really liked. I've been liking it more so far, reading with my eyes. But I'm only about a third of the way through. But really, Keith, what I love is the version of the book that I'm reading. It's the same one you have. The Houghton Mifflin Leatherette editions. They're so nice and lovely.
Baby. Yeah.
It's like
that's actually Isaac's set.
Oh, okay. Well, Isaac has good taste then. I don't know if I doubt it's any kind of real leather. It's probably just a fake leather, but it's nice. It's like a paperback.
It feels like real leather. I gotta say, I'm pretty sure that's real leather.
It's just so cheap. I think I got this for like, oh, well, I guess $50 is not. I was thinking 20. I think I paid like $40, but $40 for a sealed of all 4 of these. The box set of the 4 books.
And the stand is nice too. The little thing that comes in is nice.
It's just so nice. It feels so nice like leather. It's bendy like a paperback. It's small enough to take places. It's just so nice.
The thing that I want is exactly what those are, but like 3 times bigger. Like,
I could see that. Yeah,
I want big leather copies of them, not little leather copies.
I get that. You want this is a hardcover. This is a big red Lord of the Rings single volume thing. I don't think I could ever have a single volume of Lord of the Rings because honestly, it would just psych me out. I think having it's like the multi-disc game thing. I think breaking it up into 3 volumes will help me get through it. It gives me goals to shoot for. Or maybe it's the opposite.
You know that
maybe
it's all one. It's meant to be one.
Oh, of course, Keith. I know that it's a single novel written as 6 books, usually published as 3 volumes. Fucking go.
Right. It's much like Shenmue is all one tale split into 10 parts, and those 10 parts may take many forms. Right. Like one game may be 1 part, but one game may be between
12 and 15 parts. Sorry, it's funny. Tolkien nerds always need to point out that the Lord of the Rings is 1 book. It's so dumb. I was on we already talked about it on Shenmue, but I was on board and since
this actually may have not been on mic. This may have been
okay. You're right.
Near my bookshelf.
You're right. We were just talking about the books, but went on Board Game Geek since then to look at like a Lord of the Rings board game or whatever, and I was like, is there a good version of Lord of the Rings Risk? And I was like looking at a review on Board Game Geek, and they had to, every fucking Board Game Geek Lord of the Rings review has to start with them talking about how big of a fan of Lord of the Rings they are. And they always start with like, I've been reading the book since, parenthetical, yes, it is one book published as 3 volumes. Like, fuck you.
Ugh,
oh my
so
God,
annoying.
you Doki Doki Panic ass dropping motherfucker. Like, nobody, everyone knows,
No one
cares. Like,
It doesn't
come
even
on.
mean anything. That's what a trilogy is anyway.
It means nothing. They weren't, yeah, whatever. I know they were written together and then published over separate years, but still, please, come on. Get over it. Get a hold of yourselves.
That still doesn't
please.
make it one book.
It
Do you want to
doesn't.
know what makes it 3 books?
It's 6
in
books.
3 separate books.
The book itself divides itself into 6 books.
A book isn't a concept separate from the physical bounds of a book.
You don't know that. The
I mean,
Hobbit's
it
red,
kind of
though.
is.
That's nice.
You can definitely,
It's a red book.
I've definitely seen the reverse where it's like within this book are 10 books, like an anthology
Sure,
or
yeah.
something, some long thing where it's like the first 250 pages are called book 1. The second 250 pages are called book 2, and the last 100 pages are book 3. But still, the fact that it's in 3 books makes it 3 books.
I mean, listen,
Even if you have
they got
some
what
idea
they
that
want.
they were written at the same time.
I don't know if I don't think it's like this in every edition of these books, but we already know that like in this like the page numbers are carried throughout the 3 volumes in the leatherette thing. I don't know if they all do that.
Yeah.
Like Return of the King starts at like page 600 and goes to page 1000 or something.
My original copy of Return of the King, which had Viggo Mortensen on it.
This version looks real nice though. I like this. This looks like some kind of moleskin type thing.
My post-movie Viggo Mortensen cover copy of Return of the King starts at page, 2.
Got Viggo Mortensen.
Does not carry over.
Return of the King book cover. We're gonna find it. Oh, it must have been this one. Is that the one you had?
Let's see. Is it a mass market?
Yeah.
Where are you showing me this?
I guess on the stream. I guess
Okay.
I'll screen share.
I'll tell
with
you in a minute. No, that wasn't it, actually.
Oh, damn. Okay, hang on.
It was go down a row.
This one?
This one. That one. Yeah, it's that. It was that one.
It was that one. Okay.
Pretty sure it was that one.
Let's find let's find the one with Elijah Wood on it that I had. Oop, this one's harder. I did a bad job searching. Oh no, it's not gonna happen.
I checked the chat when I was
There it is. That's the one I had. He's looking at a sword and going, "Whoa, it's a sword." Oh my gosh, a sword.
A sword. I wonder if there's anything special about it.
It looks,
there is.
It's
We all
curvy. We all know. Well, listen, I guess it depends on your perspective whether or not it's special, right? In a sense, it's just an elven dagger. It's just an elven short sword, if you really think about it.
You don't think it's special that it glows when there's orcs near?
Well, Keith, all of the elvish weapons made in Gondolin for the the Great Goblin War glow blue in the presence of orcs.
Oh well, but how many of those could possibly?
And I know this because I'm reading The Hobbit. No, you're right. It's special because it's old.
Right.
Elijah Wood as Frodo. Authentic autograph. Oh my gosh. Look at him, he's scared. He's so scared.
You just passed my copy of Fellowship of the Ring. Was that one with
this one?
The ring on it. The one to the that one, yeah.
That one's cool.
Yeah.
That's like the original design, basically.
Yeah, I had 3 separate. I had another different movie version for Two Towers.
The Fellowship of the Ring.
I had like
Tolkien.
I had like a cool normal book cover for one, and then 2 different versions of movie covers for books 2 and 3.
You know, I like the 2.
But I never finished them because I don't really like reading them.
I've only read Fellowship, but I really liked it. What I think is cool, here's a version of the Two Towers, and you might look at this and go, oh, that's a movie version because it's got the movie tower on it, but it was the opposite. Peter Jackson was like, let's get this artist to draw the rest of the tower, and they put it in the movie. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing that we were supposed to be talking about was The Hobbit, which Kylie is reading now because I was talking about how I like the Lord of the Rings movies. I think they're fun, good movies.
What?
I don't like the Hobbit movies. And the reverse is true of the books. I think that The Hobbit is a really good and fun book, and that the Lord of the Rings books are kind of a snooze.
I would say that I'm reading The Hobbit because I just rewatched the movies and then bought the books and then started reading them. I feel like that's why I'm reading The Hobbit. Maybe I'm reading it a little bit because Keith was like, you should read it again.
It's good. It's got this like,
here's the thing, it's hard,
sad vibe to it.
It's hard to know because was I planning to read Fellowship and not The Hobbit? I think so, but you know me, I can never not start on the first one. If they give me 4 books, I got to read the first book.
The thing, I'm gonna say this, spoilers for The Hobbit, but we all know it's The Hobbit.
You wouldn't dare. If you're a little bit sensitive, this is only spoilers for The Hobbit if you've also not seen Fellowship of the Ring or read it. Okay.
So the thing that I love about The Hobbit that really gets me about it, I think that the book itself is like fun and good. But I really love the melancholy, like bittersweet end of like not having appreciated the wild ride that he was on until he was like basically done with it. And then moving into Fellowship and then still being still regretting not having appreciated it. I think that's for me, that is the best thing that series does, is like the sort of the tragic in between life of Bilbo Baggins that there was no interesting book to write about. Which is, shout out to, I'm sure that it's just because of the order that I consume this media in. But shout out to whoever did the music for the Lord of the Rings movies. But that feeling is totally encapsulated for me by the melancholy flute melody in the Lord of the Rings movie soundtrack.
Oh, that flute, Keith.
That flute to me,
that flute is in my heart.
That flute to me is the sad life of Bilbo Baggins. It is simultaneously Bilbo regretting having not gone on an adventure and Frodo Baggins anticipating an adventure while not really wanting to leave home. It's both of those things at the same time. It's really good.
Yeah, I don't know that I can exactly quantify everything that I like so far about The Hobbit and
I demand that you exactly quantify
I will try. Some things I like about it, both of them are books about going on a big journey. And I really like the way Tolkien does that, where I don't know, it just, unlike other books I've read, I really feel like the characters feel like they move to a new place, which is, I know, a weird thing to say, but it's like, for whatever reason in these 2 books, I really feel the distance of the journey they've gone on in a way I don't in other works.
Yeah.
And I like how it plays a lot with that idea of not knowing, you know, like in a world where there are no telephones, you know, that stuff of not knowing what's going on at the place you're going to until you get there, and not knowing about what's happening to the place you just left until you go go finish your journey and come all the way back to the end. That stuff's really cool. And
not to take anything away from Tolkien here, but that's just how the world was when he wrote those books. I don't think anyone would have noticed that when reading them upon release. Have been like, wow, it really feels wild that they've got to go to these places and not know what's going to be.
Hang on. The Lord of the Rings was published in the 60s. Fuck off.
It was not. It was published. Was it published in the 60s? Really?
Yeah. Hobbit was published in 37, and the Lord of the Rings was published in the 60s, or like the late.
I
50s.
knew that. I knew that. Publication date 54.
Oh, for Fellowship?
For Fellowship, yeah.
Oh, and that's perfect because they didn't have cars or phones in 1954, so your point stands.
54, 54, 55. Those were the years. Well, not the 60s. Oh, I knew that. You're
right. I was way off.
The Hobbit was 37.
Yeah.
And so I guess I just assumed that Lord of the Rings was the 40s. But it's still pretty much true.
I mean, Tolkien was born in the 1800s. He was an old person when he wrote those in the 50s. But yeah,
the first single volume edition, 1968. What does that mean?
We already gushed about the movies on that episode of Shenmue, but man, those movies are also fucking great. Those are like,
yeah, they're really good.
I'm not a person who has favorites of things. So when people say like, what's your favorite movie? I'm always like, I don't know, but I think I might say the Fellowship of the Ring now, because it's just, all three of those movies are great. We watched the extended edition.
Though. That's sort
they
of
absolutely do.
Them.
They do for sure. But that's just how I experience trilogies. I always like the first one the most, and the third one the third most. And some people are just I realize, like, I think there are just some people who always like the third one of a trilogy because they like seeing a story come together at the end, even if it doesn't come together well or something. I don't know. But those movies are so great, and this was we watched the extended versions, which I've owned for years, but I think this was my first time watching the extended trilogy fully as 6 separate movies instead of trying to watch both discs of each movie at a go, and that made it so much more watchable. Like my previous extended edition watching, I came away from it being like, maybe I should buy the theatrical versions. These are really long. But watching it as 6 movies, I was like, no, I don't want to lose any of this. It's good this way. So, hey.
My thing is that I watched the theatrical versions for the first 2, and then I watched the
what?
The director's cut for Return of the King, because I think it's the most significant. I think the things removed from Return of the King are the most significant. I think, like, you don't get the death of Saruman if you don't watch the extended third one, right? Yeah. And you miss, I think, one of my favorite creature designs, which is the Mouth of Sauron. Is not. Yeah, the Mouth of Sauron was great. Keith, I was early in Giant Bomb's life. They did community videos where they would like ask a silly question, and then people would submit. They would record themselves with webcams answering the question, and then whatever. And I was on one of those early ones, and someone in the comments said I looked like the Mouth of Sauron. And it's simultaneously the most hurtful and funniest thing anyone's ever said about my appearance. Oh my God. All right, I'm going to be right back. Do you want to set up the game? Oh God, do I? Great. I'll be right back. All right. Bye, Keith. It's just us now. Are you still looking at these covers of the Two Towers? I guess you are. You know what? Keith's gone, and I'll say this again. I think Keith is bananagrams to think that the extended versions of Fellowship and Two Towers aren't worth watching. I would say the Fellowship doesn't really have the extended version of Fellowship doesn't have that many
scenes that are essential, but it has lengthened scenes, longer cuts. The scenes get to breathe more, and also it only adds 20 minutes to the movie, so it's barely extended. The Return of the King one, that's a rough one to go with the extended version, because it's like 4.5 hours long. That's rough. The Two Towers, what are you missing in the Two Towers extended? You're missing like a lot of Ent scenes in that one. You're missing a healthy chunk of Treebeard if you're not watching the extended one, and you don't want that. You want all the Treebeard you can get, because I know you, and I know that that's what you want. Let's check out, how's the chat doing? Do people call old encyclopedias all one book? If so, I guess the Lord of the Rings would be one book. No, they don't call encyclopedias all one book. They call it all one encyclopedia, but they call it the different volumes of that encyclopedia. Well, I guess that's the same kind of thing. Maybe you're right. Yeah, I was watching that. So did we just finish the Lord of the Rings last night? It couldn't have been, or maybe it was the night before. There's definitely, it's so funny. And the very last scene when Frodo's saying goodbye to Sam, you can just see it. It's almost like they put the words "kiss goes here" on the screen, because it's just so obvious. Like this is where they would kiss.
This is where they would kiss.
This is where they would kiss.
Who's kissing?
I was saying
Frodo and Sam?
I was saying the final scene of The Return of the King. There's just this moment where it's like the kiss goes here. Like you can just feel it, like it's supposed to be here.
This could be. I was gonna say this could be apocryphal, but I think the person that I heard it from was Sean Astin, the actor who plays Sam.
Yes.
I think that I heard him say that the tender handhold was Ian McKellen's direction.
Christopher
Lee. He was
Lee.
like, you should. No, Ian McKellen.
Oh, sorry. I was correcting you, but if you don't want it, that's fine.
I mean, why are you saying it was Christopher Lee?
Because it was. Because I know what you're talking about, and it was Christopher Lee. That's all. Sorry.
Okay, well, someone look it up and tell who's right. Was it the person telling the story or the person correcting the story? And then we'll figure out. We'll figure out how you can apologize to me when it turns out that I'm right.
You fucking started the story with saying you weren't sure about the details.
I said I wasn't sure if it was apocryphal, and then I remembered that it was Sean Astin telling the story.
Anyway, so he told him to hold his hand.
Yeah, the tender
and then he did.
End of Return of the King, this is where they would kiss scene was, as far as I remember, Ian McKellen being like, hey, Sean Astin, go touch his hand. This is what I remember.
Okay. Anyways,
in the chat said I also heard it was Ian McKellen, but that's not.
Fuck you.
I guess not confirmation, but it is back. Why would it be important that Christopher Lee said it? Why would Christopher Lee have been there?
Because not for any reason other than it's just well known that Christopher Lee was the Tolkien nerd on the set who was going around being like, do this because it's like the book. Fans will be looking for this. Don't forget about this. It's in the book, and fans will want to see it.
So I have heard that same thing, but about Ian McKellen, who went and read all the books and was like making book directions, being like, hey, in the book, I just read it. It was like this. I'm Ian McKellen. You should listen to me.
Damn. All right. Maybe. I guess I'm wrong. I did the thing as you walked away that I always do, that I was like, well, Keith isn't here, I'll say this thing. And then as soon as you got back, I was like, nah, I should say it again so Keith hears it. But anyways, you should watch the extended by the same notion that you watch the extended Return of the King. Don't skip the extended Fellowship and Towers. You're gonna miss all that Treebeard.
Miss all the what?
You're gonna miss a good chunk of Treebeard. You're gonna miss
that's
some
fair.
other stuff. You don't want to miss that chunk of Treebeard. You're gonna miss Merry and Pippin drinking that water. You don't want to miss that.
I don't remember the water.
You're gonna miss Legolas explaining what lembas bread is.
Okay. Long Short says this. This is the thing that I heard about Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee knows what it sounds like when you stab a man in the lungs. That's what I had always heard.
Sure.
It was that he corrected, or I guess not corrected, but he redirected. What's his name? What's the actual fucking director's name? I'm losing it.
You mean Peter Jackson?
Peter Jackson, yeah. Peter Jackson was directing someone who was being stabbed in the back, and Christopher Lee was like, "Oh no, they don't do that. They just gurgle and die." Because I was in World War II, so I know about stabbing people in the back until they're dead.
Maybe it was like the putting out your hands thing, and Christopher Lee was like, "People don't put their hands out when they get stabbed in the back."
I think it was screaming. He was like, "People don't scream; they just die."
Yeah. How could you? You have a fucking knife in your lungs.
Yeah, that's the Christopher Lee set story that I've heard.
Yeah, but okay. If more than one person is saying it's Ian McKellen, then I believe you that it was Ian McKellen in that moment with the Sean Astin thing. But for sure, Christopher Lee was the biggest Tolkien nerd in the movies and was being annoying about it to people.
I buy it. I buy that.
He was also like really mad at Peter Jackson for cutting out Saruman's death from the Two Towers, but then maybe felt better once he saw the extended Return of the King. I don't know. It was too bad. There's this great there's this sad clip of Christopher Lee being excited about Saruman's bit in the Hobbit movies, and that bit's fucking terrible, and then he died like immediately after that, and that's too bad. It's too bad he was excited about that bad part of that movie.
Yeah. Oh well. Hey, it's I bet you never know until it comes out whether something's.
Yeah, you never know.
Well, okay, maybe not never know, but when something's on the line there, it's probably tough to know if it's going to come out, especially if it's like really special effectsy.
Yeah, I bet it was easy. I wonder if it was easy on the Lord of the Rings set to be like, is any of this going to be good? Is this going to all be the dumbest garbage? And then you see it on screen, and you're like, oh no, it's incredible actually.
Oh my god, I saw a like, I guess not behind the scenes. It's hard to say if this counts as behind the scenes. But I saw a set video from some Marvel movie where they're all acting as if stuff is happening around them, but it's just like a stupid set full of nothing. And it really sucked. It sucked so bad. It was like really kind of heartbreaking to watch. Like they're not doing a very good job acting, and I'm sure that it helps that that when you see it, it's full of stuff. So maybe like the visuals being there will help sell this. But it really just looked like some goofballs saying some dumb shit, and like jumping off. Oh, I saw someone like, dude, I sort of blocked it out of my memory, but it was like there's this bit where someone was like flying, and they can't fly because it's real life, right? So they just like lift up their arm and like go like I'm going, but they're just standing in place.
That is acting though.
It is, but it wasn't that good of acting,
right?
The acting bit wasn't very good.
So Keith, we're here on the PlayStation 3 menu, and you might have heard recently that there was an announcement from Sony that they were going to shut down the PlayStation 3 and PSP and Vita stores, and that none of those games would be available to buy again after that, and that they would be available to download for some amount of time, number of years beyond that or whatever. But so at that point I was like, oh, this is it. I should go through and see if there's any more PS1 classics or whatever that I always meant to buy and never got around to, because my PS3 is basically my PS1 machine. This is my last chance. And then I went and bought too many games, and then found out the next day that they had already called that off and said they weren't going to shut down the PS3 store. But it's too late. I have these games now. I bought Mega Man Legends, Parasite Eve 1 and 2, and Mega Man Legends 2.
Do I
and
have Parasite Eve for the Dreamcast? Is that possible?
I don't know. And the Misadventures of Tron Bonne, because I was like the Mega Man Legends ones I pegged for like these could disappear from existence if I don't buy them now, especially because there's some controversy with like the voice actors. I think there's some like really bad person who is one of the voices in 1 and 2 or something. And wait, I think I already had Zone of the Enders.
Oh, we all love Zone of the Enders.
But I got, what else? Vib Ribbon. This was my one pick of thing I had never heard of, because one of my favorite things in the world is to like pick a random old game and have it be something cool that you didn't expect. It's definitely weird. It's definitely weird and confusing. The screenshots looked cool. I got Chrono Cross. And Dynasty Warriors Gundam Reborn, the 4th Dynasty Warriors Gundam. It was
not a PS1 game.
No, it's a PS3 game. It was released digital only in America for $40, and they never lowered the price until the moment I bought it. So I had to pay $40 for this Dynasty Warriors Gundam Reborn game.
And then what do they lower it to?
Oh, no, like they haven't still.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
didn't.
Like,
I didn't mean.
After I bought it, it's now $9.99.
Yeah, no, I'm sure like the moment the PS3 store goes down, they'll port it to PS4 and give it to you for free or whatever.
It's funny. There's two kinds of games that they never lower the price on. It's games that they're always still selling copies of, so they're like, why the fuck would we lower the prices? People are still buying it.
Yeah.
And then there's games that so few people give a shit about that they forget to go eventually lower the price.
Well, I think they literally just had me. Like, they just knew that there's not that many people that wanted it, but the people who want it fucking want it, and they're gonna pay for it. And they were right, because I did. I tried to hold out, and they buying
the 4th Dynasty Warriors Gundam game.
Dynasty
fucking Warriors Gundam has more games in it than most other franchises. Whole franchises.
That's not true.
Just the offshoot. You don't think that most games stopped after 2 or 3?
It's got more games than Mega Man Legends, even if you include Tron Bonne.
What the fuck is Tron Bonne?
Tron Bonne's a side character in Mega Man Legends, and she got her own game. In debt to Mr. Loathe for 1 million zenny, Tron Bonne is going to have to rob banks and explore ruins to pay off her debt and rescue her family.
Wow, how many PS1 games involved ruins?
Let's fucking get in there.
Battle Adventure also involved ruins.
Yeah, Mega Man Legends is like, it's like Wind Waker. It's like Zelda Wind Waker, like the whole world is an ocean with islands. But what if those islands all had really, really, really big basements that you go into?
Finished or unfinished?
Oh, unfinished. These are ruins. These are ruined basements.
You know what game?
Please let us know in the chat. I have literally no concept of how loud we or the game are. Please let us know if you'd like it louder or quieter.
You know what game I want to replay?
What?
Lego Island.
Woo! You were always wanting to play that. Did you hear that? We got the thing.
I saw a little Lego guy at the beginning. And
oh, sure.
Island.
Did you hear? Did you hear just now? Can you hear it at all?
No, I can hear it. It sounds like shit, and you sound like shit too.
Okay, well, there was a bunch of childlike voices that all yelled "The Misadventures of Tron Bonne," and we loved that.
Yeah, every time you talk, a crappy audio plays in the background, and when you stop talking, it disappears.
All right, well, fucking, I can change that if you just remind me that I have my things on.
There we go. I feel like I did before. I did remind you of this before.
That was a different thing. There was a different thing we were fixing before. Okay. These games, I had never played these games. I think I watched the Game Informer super replay of Mega Man Legends 1. But other than that, I hadn't played them, and they were... I mean, these are the first one was a very early 3D adventure game, and the controls are weird.
In this game?
Yeah. You like turn with R and L.
Ooh, I hate that. There's some trial and error.
It's a little bit good because the left and right on the D-pad is strafe left and strafe right, which is good, which is useful.
Ooh, voice acting.
This might be the person who's not a good person.
I knew it was too good to be true. I mean, it's supposed to be
I think his name's Dr. Load, so I'm not surprised.
No.
It's not going to be found that easily.
I think this is Tron Bonne's dad.
I'll get that junk store owner if it's the last thing I
Yeah,
ever
Mr. Loath is probably the junk store owner.
Okay. If I were to name this character, I think Dr. Load would have fit.
I name him Johnny Crazy Eyes.
Stop, Bonne. Can you hear
I
me?
think those are glasses.
Bonne. Whoa! We love this thing.
Nothing here.
Yeah, this little spiky head guy. I like that.
Babu!
Babu!
Yeah, we still love it.
Yeah.
Doorway?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's gonna be good this whole
The
game.
entrance we're looking for.
It'll never get old.
I knew you could do it, Bonne. Now we're in business. What's your heading? North? All right. Stand by. I'm
Not quite
on
the
my
cutscene
way.
budget that Legends 1 had,
All
I
right,
see.
Boys, let's go.
Legends 1 is a much hated game, right? Am I wrong?
I mean, that might have been true for a time, but I think it's one of those things, the only people left really love that game, so it's beloved now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's also, we've talked about this phenomenon before where, like, as time goes by, the difference between
What
between a pretty good and a pretty bad old game the line starts to blur a bit. Like, age sort of erodes the difference between a really good early 3D game and a not so good early 3D game, and so you're sort of left with just like that kind of old quality.
Oh, sorry. I got distracted by how totally nuts Tron's face looks. Could you repeat some of that?
We have talked before about the phenomenon of age sort of blurring the lines between like a pretty good old game and a not so good old game.
Okay,
It sort of makes games that weren't as good in their day seem a little bit better, and games that were pretty good in their day seem a little worse.
I think
Just
that's
sort of age.
that could be true. I think it's also just like I think it's childhood nostalgia. Like I just think first you were mostly hearing about Mega Man Legends opinions from people who tried it when they were 15, and now we mostly hear about opinions from people who tried it when they were 8 and they liked it a lot more.
I think that also happens, but I think age makes good games seem worse and bad games seem like.
That's probably.
I mean, it's not
true.
that it makes them better. It just makes the things that were bad about them now just seem old instead of bad. It's like hard to be like,
Is this
oh
right?
well, in 2004 this was still bad.
This seems. Is this wrong? Am I not doing this right?
That sure seems wrong. You have another button to press?
These seem. They're like Pikmin. They're like. Oh. Oh, I have a. Get out of there.
Yeah, Pikmin, get out of there.
No, I meant me.
Oh. Pikmin 2 though.
Oh, somehow I missed my regular shooty attack? So this seems like Mega Man Legends, except I'm a big robot instead of a small robot.
Or are you still a small robot, but you're sort of chunky?
I bet the
I think I'm a human-sized robot inside of a much bigger robot.
So you're Mega Man wearing a Mega Man suit.
No, I'm this guy.
Well, but I mean Mega Man, a Mega Man style robot.
Yeah.
Wearing Mega Man.
Yes, exactly. Mega Man. That's
Yeah,
exactly
that
what I
also
was
looked
gonna
like that would
say.
blow up to me. Oh, there's a crack. Maybe you hit it with something, it will open wider.
Yeah, no.
Tell him no, it didn't.
Yeah, it didn't actually.
Is there something you can pick up and throw at it?
Oh, I think there was something that they showed me I could pick up actually.
Yeah. The guns obviously won't do it, so you're gonna have to pick something up and throw. Wait, look behind you.
Oh wait, no.
I think directly 6 o'clock is another opening. That maybe that's what they were talking about.
Yeah, I went up to it, nothing happened. I pushed start. Is that something? Doesn't seem like something. Wait,
is options controls in there?
Fucking thing's face.
Yeah, it's just a little Lego guy. So it doesn't tell you what you're not understanding about how to shoot.
Nah. I mean, I think I understand how to shoot. I think I got it. But what I did miss was I missed what it said about this opening.
Do you have a punch?
Oh, they all went in and they brought me things.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that missile I'm shooting, it's not a projectile, it's directing the serve bots. So this maybe I'm just supposed to shoot it until it, or maybe this is the one I can't get it.
You shot it so much.
Yeah, I shot it so much. All right.
Oh, maybe there's something over here you can pick up. There looks like something on the floor. Is that something you can pick up? That rock?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it sure doesn't look like it.
Ah!
Oh, it sure didn't look like it, but you totally can. Yeah, your big guns won't open that, but toss a rock at it. That'll probably work, huh?
Bring me gems! Yay!
Gems! Ooh, those gems are red. What do you think is worth more, red or
Well,
purple?
they were red and bigger, so I think we can make some pretty safe assumptions here. The idea of Mega Man Legends, but you have Pikmin is sick.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that that's a slam dunk.
I think it's a slam dunk.
Ooh, I think that hurt you.
Oh, really? Nah.
Oh, okay. I heard the effort noise and I was like, ooh, you should throw the rock at the bad robot. Nice. I mean, it seems like the most effective weapon in the game is throwing rocks.
But rocks are a limited resource. Consider that.
Wow. This game's deep.
I know. Really deep. It's got tons of ruins. Very deep ancient ruins.
Very deep ruins. Here's our little purple ones.
I had played Mega Man Legends 1 a bit since I bought it, and I thought about, oh geez. I thought about loading up Mega Man 1 and being like, chat, help me figure out where to go, because I think I'm just lost. It's like, it's one of those early 3D games where there's like nowhere to go, but somehow also you can't find where to go.
Yeah.
You know, you're just
because
like,
what they want from you is so weird.
Yeah, it's like, this environment has 3 places and I went to all of them. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's really just usually they just want you to stand in a particular spot and press X.
Let me go change the Twitch thing. Forgot to.
Must be
It still says we're playing Dark Souls. Let me go change the
This
Twitch
is the Gustav.
thing.
Come in,
Forgot
Desert
to.
Chap. Must be
It still says we're playing Dark Souls.
Go ahead.
Gesh.
Ooh, we're gonna get a nice little echo going through.
going to go in.
Gesh. No, I don't want
Tron
that.
not to worry. Over.
Diesel, is everything okay?
Oh.
How's the Gustav holding up?
that you, Tron?
For fuck's sake. Keith, you go change.
The Gustav's doing
Yeah,
great.
I'll get. Did you delete that app off your phone that
You made
lets you do this?
No,
Don't
you
worry about it, kid.
changed
We'll
it.
be home with the treasure before you. Huh?
What did I change?
You changed the you did like an account recovery on our Twitch account and changed the authenticator, so I don't have it anymore.
Did I do that?
Pretty sure. I think there was like a time you couldn't get a hold of me or something, so you just like, I'm just changing the thing.
What? What's going on, Tizo?
I remember there was a time that you sent me a password and it was wrong, and so I reset it to what you said that it was. But I don't think that was Twitch.
It's me.
Is that Miss?
I
Oh,
work for
that's.
Mr. Lowe. Remember?
Oh.
I'm sure you know why I've come all this way to find you.
I'm not getting any authenticator messages.
No, I'll
I can
figure it
get
out
the money
later.
I borrowed from Lowe's back real soon.
Maybe I actually do still have it on my phone. I was wrong.
I'll have your money, honest.
I'm afraid it's too late. The deadline is long past. Give it back. All of it. Now. Time to pay the piper.
Yeah.
Listen,
Squawk.
if you just wait a few more.
Silence. Don't you understand? Your time is up. You leave me no choice but to exercise our option. That big body of yours is mine now. Come along.
Oh no, Big Body. He's my favorite Metal Gear character.
What's happening?
I've run into a little trouble here, Tron. Don't worry though, I'll be back soon.
You're not exactly my type, but if you want to play around a little, I'm game.
Oh,
Take your best shot.
Guys, wicked anime.
Tizo!
Tizo. That was pretty sick.
we love
I
when
got a bird head.
we
for
love
a
when
kick.
planes turn into robots. Oh no! It's annoying that I can't. Oh, okay. Here we go. I'm gonna say it's annoying that I can't move while I'm locked on, but I can do this.
You can.
I think there was a beginner option that was like, hey, turn on beginner mode if you want to be able to run while you're locked on. But I ain't no scrub. I played a video
Hey,
game.
you should throw a rock at this thing.
Oh, good idea. I was gonna think of that on my own since I'm so good at games.
Yeah. I wouldn't have even suggested it if I thought that.
That you thought that I wouldn't. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Because you respect me too much.
Right. If you get attacked with your rock, you lose your rock. That's
I know,
a new rule.
Oh,
Damn.
it's the most brutal
New
rule.
rules.
And this is what's fucked up is I practice all spring training. I practice being able to throw my rocks whenever I wanted, and then suddenly the game is gonna
Not
change
bad.
the rules at the start of
I'd
the
expect no
season.
less from the
How do you
Gundam
expect me to
family.
play with this?
But not quite good enough.
Pretty good bird plane.
Yeah, I love that bird plane.
Ultimate glide laser.
Ooh! Ultimate glide laser.
I think that's what I most wish I had, like a special move. I don't have a special move.
Right.
And the thing that I feel like I'm missing out on most is less using the special move and more being able to say the name of the special move as I use it.
What is her
I'm
pants?
gonna go to their last known position and make sure everything's
What
okay.
what is that?
Block D, can
It's
you
a,
hear me?
it's,
We're heading
it's
out
a-
in a truck to look for the
it's
Gustav.
armor.
Why does she have
It's
a
a
metal
little bit of
badge
armor.
protector?
Okay?
It's metal.
Isn't
it's
that
little metal
that's
armor.
how could you? That's gotta be so uncomfortable. How would you sit down?
Maybe it's not metal and it's just silver.
She's a robot.
Oh.
Apparently,
well, then it doesn't matter. Maybe there's no comfort.
They don't. I guess they don't explain this like in the games, but all these people are actually like human robot hybrids because this takes place like 10,000 years in the future of the Mega Man universe, where humans and robots have evolved into one thing or something. I don't know how it works, or just all the humans were killed and they made robots.
The robots are like, we miss the people. Some of us should be people. Some of us should be little crying Lego men.
They were both taken away.
Wow, look how sad.
He's so sad.
Yeah, that's really sad.
All right, this is very lengthy for not a lot of setup. Not working it off. The Bonne family does not work.
Just like him. Well, let's get back to the Gesellschaft. We have to make a plan to rescue them.
Gesellschaft.
Let's go. Roger.
Oh. Not more cutscenes though, come on.
It shouldn't take this long to find something.
You don't want more cutscenes? You don't just want to watch a bunch of cutscenes about this character that we don't know?
If there was anything interesting happening, maybe I would, but we're just gonna sit here for 10 minutes while she comes to the conclusion we have to go to dungeons and get treasure.
Hurry, give it to me. Yep, this is it. This is Teasel's receipt for the money. What does it say? Read it, Miss Tron. Let's see.
They're so happy about this.
Yeah.
I, Teasel Bonne, do hereby state that I owe Loath Inc. the sum of 1 million zenny to be paid back in full. Huh? 1 million zenny? What was Teasel doing with so
Damn,
much
that sounds like a
money?
lot.
Wait a minute. The date on this IOU. It's from around the time we were building the Gesellschaft. Teasel said not to worry about money. He said we had plenty, and then he went out and bought everything.
I guess he was kind of a fucking liar, huh?
Miss Tron.
Damn. And then he attacked us to the plane.
I thought for sure all these happy faces were gonna become sad again once they realized how big the debt was, but maybe they just don't know what debt is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay this IOU and bring Teasel and Bonne back.
Oh,
is
Bonne?
Teasel not the guy that was in the plane, the bird plane?
No, Teasel was the one I was playing as, and I guess Bonne was the. I thought Bonne was his pet name for Tron, but I guess it's the robot that we were talking to. How do we move? Wait, is there different places I can be? Oh, interesting. It's just
I
like
bet Lego Island holds up. I remember that people don't like that game, but I'm pretty sure that it rules.
Okay. In fairness, I wanted to play it as a kid, but I don't think I had a computer that could run it or whatever, so I never got to it until like I saw it when I was an adult. I don't even know how you could have fun playing that game. It looks like just
had a blast.
Okay.
It's the best game I ever played. All I can think about.
Wow, we're gonna land right in front of the bank and bust in. I take it back.
Yeah, we have to pay this debt. There's no way we're not gonna pay this debt. But one of the ways we can pay it is by robbing the bank.
Well, her dad did get kidnapped.
Okay, that's fair.
He is being held hostage. Oh, we're just in it now.
Oh, great news. MyAbandonware.com has Lego Island.
Ooh.
Download. Oh, I wonder if it has... Okay, someone let me know if there's a weird old PC game, third-person game, where the cover is like... It's like under construction, like caution tape. What game is that?
No, I don't know.
And I need someone to let me know what that is.
And what did you have any info about the game or just the cover?
I think it's like a construction-y kind of game or something.
Wait a minute. This isn't the bank. Sorry, the bank's in the next town over. Why is it always this way with you? Whenever I ask you to do something. Sorry. No, never mind. Call the truck and tell them to pick us up.
The truck.
We need a pickup over.
All right, I'm now downloading the Lego Island ISO file.
3 minutes, huh? Well, maybe the trip won't be a total waste. Grab what you can.
I'll say that specifically the thing that are incredible machines, StarCraft.
Okay, get going. All right, listen up. We're not leaving
so
until we
long.
get 50,000
No, it's not
zenny,
this.
So we have to
okay?
take it from the vet's office now. Well,
Mission start.
go get it. go to bring me back a cat. Sick. Is there any more in there? Oh, Keith, you know what I forgot to mention? I bought and have been playing a new Legacy board game, Aeon's End Legacy. Have you heard about
What
this?
is
one?
that? No, I don't even know. I don't know what Aeon's End is.
Aeon's End, from what that person had money. Aeon's End is like Ascension if it was a co-op game where you had to fight against like a boss enemy instead of against each other. And then this is a Legacy version of that, and honestly, it's really, really good.
Sorry, it is like what, but co-op instead of
Ascension, like the deck building game.
Oh,
it's a deck building game.
You did mention this to me.
Yeah. Oh no! Excuse you. I will not. You will go away. It's really cool. There's a narrative. What the best thing about it is it seems it seems like a Legacy game that is not diminished in any way by only playing it with 2 players, which is great because that's usually the number of people you have to play a board game. I totally recommend it for playing with 2 players.
Board games suffer from the inherent contradiction of they are better with more people, but the more board games you have, the less likely you are to have more people to play them with.
Right. Yeah, so it was great, and the downside is that I think you could get away. I don't think you'd have to really be strict about it. If it would be easy to get around it, but it says that like you're supposed to pick a number of players from 1 through 4, and you're supposed to just like always play with just those people and those characters. So like I started it with Cheryl, and the game like really wants only me and Cheryl to ever play that game until like we finish the campaign. But I mean, that's easy to do when it's 2 players. That's like unreasonable if it's a 5-player game or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
I think I'm getting the Zennies. This is fun. So it's been a lot of fun, and I think for me it solves what is like the only problem with Ascension, which is like kind of like a basic deck building game. It's really good to play if you're not familiar with the genre because it's pretty stripped down. What's great about deck building games is you're often not you're kind of just doing your own thing and just making decisions for yourself about what you think is a good strategy, and you don't have to like there's not a lot of things influencing your play. But then like in Ascension, it feels like you're playing by yourself the whole time, and then you get to the end of the game and find out who won, and you never have like a clear sense of like why that person won. Usually
in Ascension, do you think so?
I think so in Ascension. Maybe if you play, like I got to a place where I was playing the iOS app a lot, so maybe once I had played a ton of games, that was more clear. But in Aeon's,
I think it's slightly different in the app when you're not like sitting across from someone and like really watching what they're doing, and like
that's maybe
like,
true. Yeah.
Being able to like, oh wait, what is that car? What are you doing?
I guess it's one of those things where the game just comes to an end, and then you count up your decks and see who has the most points, and then that person's the winner. Like the count who has the most points at the end is just kind of like an anticlimactic way to end a game. I like in Aeon's End when you're fighting a big monster, and it feels like, it has that same co-op feel of like Forbidden Island or Pandemic, where it feels like the tension all mounts right at the very end, and you have that big triumphant moment. So that's been really cool, and they have just a lot. Oh, the coolest thing about it is so like in a deck building game, you're you start with a small basic deck, and you're choosing what cards to add to it throughout the course of the game, so that by the end of the game you have a much bigger deck with more powerful cards. And that's how Aeon's End works. But the thing is, you're building your deck out of, like, you have 9 piles of potential cards. Like, these are the 9 different cards that you can add to your deck, and you choose which one you want at any particular time. But then at the end of a chapter in Aeon's End Legacy, they'll give you 2 new piles of cards they'll give you 4, and you choose 2 of them to replace 2 of your 9 piles, if that makes sense. It'll be hard to follow if you're not familiar with deck building games, but essentially it's like a meta deck building game. It's like as you play the game more, the cards you are building decks out of also levels up and improves, and you're getting to make those really tough decisions, because you'll get like 4 new cards, but you can only add 2, and to add 2 you have to take away 2 that you already have. So we're like, this decision being like, okay, we don't think this card's very useful, but are we prepared to never have this card again for the rest of Aeon's End Legacy? That kind of thing. It's a fun game. I love it.
And for the rest of Aeon's End Legacy, you mean for the rest of all of the playthroughs?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I did it.
That sounds pretty cool.
No Servbot's brains rating went up. That's sad. I want their brains rating to go up. How do I make that happen? I got an apple. That's the misadventures of Tron Bonne. Let's take a look at Dynasty Warriors Reborn and then leave. What do you think?
Sure.
Because Lord knows we're never going to look. If we don't look at Dynasty Warriors Gundam Reborn right this moment, we'll never look at it.
Oh, that's not true. I don't think that's true.
Oh, you don't think
I think
that's true?
we could do its own episode on it.
It's true. It's not like we have a Gundam series that's been inactive for a year and a half or anything that we could just throw it on that and be like, here's a Gundam game.
Maybe we should do this. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should do... Why haven't... Oh, is it because... the thing that we need to do the Gundam stuff, there was either a good reason or a bad reason. It's a bad reason.
Well,
right?
Depending on whether you're Keith or Kylie, you might think it was a good reason or a bad reason, but the reason was just that I had a specific game in mind to do next for that series, and it's really expensive, so we have to like do it in an emulator or burn it on a disc, and that's why we haven't done it yet, basically. We tried in the cabin. I had a burned disc that I put in my like modded PS2, but it wouldn't run.
Well, why don't we try again?
We're gonna do it. It's gonna happen. It's happening.
Okay.
Oh, and then you're like, and not do Dynasty Warriors Gundam right now, right? That was the other part of it.
No, kind of. There was kind of an implicit we should do the actual Gundam thing that we're supposed to be doing and not fill up on stupid Gundam.
Listen,
I don't want to say bad.
Nobody's filling up on this game. We're gonna play this game for 20 minutes tops. Absolute tops.
It's a really great amount of time to play Dynasty Warriors.
I think that's a great amount of time to play Dynasty Warriors.
I'm not so sure.
Listen, the premise of this bit is, I don't mean like comedy bit, but just The premise of this bit of the show is we're playing these games I bought because I thought it was my last chance to buy them. I bought them because I thought I had to, and now we're playing them because I think I have to. Oh shit, do you want to play the official mode or the ultimate mode?
Oh, well, I think it would be a shame to not get, like, what the devs intended in the official mode.
Okay.
That's the way to play the game. It's official.
But this is the ultimate way to play the game. Normally, you know me.
Admission that the official way is
not the
worse.
ultimate way.
It's not the best way to play.
I imagine
there's the real way to play that you're supposed to do it, and then there's the good way. Which one do you
there's
want?
the good way. Now, I assume this is like story mode versus, you know, like some kind of endless type mode sort of thing. Kind of like they had a similar thing in Hyrule Warriors, I think. Oh shit. Oh wow. I get to pick regular Gundam, Zeta Gundam, a different Gundam, Unicorn Gundam, and Seed or Seed Destiny. I mean, really, if you're gonna pick, I think you go straight to Seed Destiny, probably. I think everybody wants me to go.
Right?
Yeah, that's everyone likes Seed Destiny the best, and they'd be disappointed if I didn't go straight to that one.
1年半にわたった地球プラント間の戦いは夜勤ドゥエ中域戦をもってようやくの終結を見た。
What? Kylie demanding explanations for V protectors, LOL. What does that mean?
The pants. Tron box pants.
Oh, okay. She's gonna need to win the Budokai Tenkaichi to pay that off. Yeah, sure. Anyway. Damn. That looks just like a cutscene from a show. I bet it is. Oh. Hating more than anyone. Oh, it sure does sound like a Gundam, doesn't it? Shin joins Zaft in a search for power.
I hate war, but I love power.
Yeah. The only way to never let a war happen is to get all the power in the universe. Nathan Bolton saying, ugh, who likes Seed? Nathan, everyone! Everyone loves Gundam Seed. Where have you been? There's more people and clothes. They're like, you can tell this is a modern anime because our shoulders are pointy and our arms are skinny. Surely the kids will love this.
I know a Nathan Bolton. Is that a coincidence? It's gotta be a coincidence.
David makes a good point. Birds love Seed. It's true. Nothing makes me madder when men waste their seed by spilling it on the ground. That sure is a Zaku, though, for sure. That's nobody could deny its Zaku-ness. Start battle. We're perfectly ready. What is this? What the fuck was that? What was that? Oh shit, I'm a Zaku. All right, this slaps. This is actually great.
Well, yeah, it's Gundam Seed Destiny.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you always thought it was gonna slap.
Oh, I thought you were trying to be like, we all know that Gundam Seed Destiny is about someone in a Zaku, so of course.
I love how they just go straight away into that this is a Dynasty War.
And now Jordan's here, and Jordan says, is this new? What game is this? No, this is Dynasty Warriors Gundam Reborn, the most recent Dynasty Warriors Gundam that came out like 6 years ago. and I never bought it. I never bought it because it was too much money, and then they lied to me and said they were going to shut down the PS3 store, so I went, well, I have to buy it. And so I did, and then they didn't shut down the PS3 store, but I bought this game.
This is so Dynasty Warriors, though. They're immediately like, here's 100 guys just standing next to you. What do you want to do?
Yeah, it is
and
nice.
It's like, I want to hit him with my laser sword.
Look at this cutscene. Tron Bonne didn't give me this.
No, not
Jordan, you missed the misadventures of Tron Bonne, which I have Jordan pegged for somebody who will be sad to have missed that. I bet Jordan's like, oh no, I missed Tron Bonne.
The potentially insulting peg.
I don't think that's insulting. I just think Jordan is I just feel like Jordan is a Mega Man Legends type.
Last time we pegged Jordan to something, he was not happy about it.
First of all, Jordan, I know for a fact, loves all of the pegging that I do to him. First of all, Jordan says that he's been pegged. Okay, all right.
The last thing is that we said that he seemed like a guy that would own a sword. So, and he didn't like that.
Did we say that?
You know, he did.
That sounds like something you would say. I bet you said it, and I just.
No, we agreed.
You probably no. I think you probably poisoned me.
Oh, you're right. That was the day that I poisoned you.
You thought poisoned me. You've been thought poisoning me since the beginning, and we know that.
I don't know. I just still think if Jordan said, yes, I have. Yes, I have. Honestly, yeah.
Honestly,
katana that I got from online. I bought a cheap katana online, or I bought this European broadsword at a Renaissance festival. Both of those would make sense to me. Like I went to a Renaissance festival between 1 and 4 times, and at one of them I spent $180 on a sword.
Okay, now here's a question. If I came to you and said I spent $180 on a sword, would you be surprised, or would you be like, yeah, it was only a matter of time? Okay.
More surprised, at least more surprised than with Jordan. Sorry, Jordan. I think owning a sword is totally fine. It is not the good sword owner's fault that most sword owners are annoying sword people.
Yeah, and I mean the most important thing to remember is that the only person that can stop a bad sword owner with a sword is, of course, a good sword owner with a sword.
Right. If you see an annoying sword owner, the best way to deal with that is to kill them with your sword.
I thought you were going to say the only thing to do is to own a sword and be a better person than them, but no,
If someone has a really strong opinion on like what would win a European longsword or a katana, you should take your katana and your European broadsword and do the Anakin Skywalker Count Dooku beheading with both. Do it. The only way to deal with it. Jordan says, did you know that copies of the Misadventures of Tron Bonne will often sell for more than $1,500?
I did not. I knew that it was a sought-after game, but I did not know that.
I didn't know. I've never heard of it until today. So
and that's why it's so expensive.
Right, they're trying to scrub it from our memory.
No, I just mean that it was
Tron Bonne from the cultural memory.
I just mean that it was so rare you haven't even heard of it.
Yeah, it's rare because the powers that be are keeping it from you.
Yeah, and those powers are Capcom. When it comes to Capcom releases, the powers that be are Capcom.
Yeah. Well,
and I think absolutely
short for capitalist company.
And of course we all know Capcom at this point would love nothing more than for people to forget that really any Mega Man, but especially Legends, exists.
I've never even seen Mega Man Legends. I've never seen what.
Now you have.
I feel like only a little bit.
Oh, geez, Keith. Well, if you're gonna twist my arm, I guess we'll have to go show you.
I'm not. Oh, I'm letting go.
Oh no!
Yeah,
it's,
get
ow!
blow up the
Ow! Ooh, my arm's being so twisted. We're gonna have to check it out. No, you know what?
Can I make a suggestion to these to the both forces in Gundam, the two main factions in Gundam?
They should probably go.
They should, because some of these robots are so strong. They should stop building all of these weak ones. They are not.
It's true.
Just don't waste your money on those. Just build one robot that's way better, because you can easily take out, 8,000 or 9,000 of these.
Oh my gosh, we're just in space now. Oh, that's what's truly been reborn. That's what you're paying. That's what you're paying the $40 for when you're paying $40 for a 7-year-old Dynasty Warriors game.
Is that they just take out the floor? It's the same game, but you can't see that there's a floor.
Yeah, it's the same game, but sometimes no, it's not that they take away the floor, because that's been in previous games, but it's specifically that sometimes there's a floor and then you walk somewhere and there's no more floor anymore. And we're all impressed by that. This is so addictive. Like, I'm not doing anything, but I can't stop. The Dynasty,
yeah, it's Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah, Dynasty Warriors. It's real. But anyways, since I have Jordan Mallory, the Mega Man Legends expert here watching, I guess I should take this opportunity to go to Mega Man Legends 1 and go, where do I go? They don't want us. Yeah, Long Short says they don't want us to know how lucrative it is to rob an animal hospital. Yeah, I'm stuck at the beginning of Mega Man Legends. I don't know where to go. Like, the first time they let you control your character, that's where I'm stuck on. Jordan says, it's me, I'm here and watching. Great. Oh, actually, I have to go back one quick sec to arrange my memory card. I realize it'll be way faster to just look which memory card has the file in it than to just be, like, randomly jamming them into virtual slots and guessing. It's probably PS1C.
I've never understood and still don't understand the virtual memory slot thing.
Why it exists. I can tell you why it exists.
Like,
it's because it's because the games are programmed to not be able to see more than like 120 kilobytes in one or of two memory slots, and so it just can't see it if it had more. So you just have to. Did I skip over?
But why build in the slots? Why not just trick it into thinking there's a slot? I mean, I don't know. I don't think it just seems like I've never played an old game on a newer console and needed to pick a memory slot except for the PS3.
Well, it's because all of these ROMs are totally unedited in any way. That's the difference, is that these literally haven't been touched, which when the PS3 was brand new and these were just coming out, it was annoying. It's like, come on, Sony, like, fucking, brush up the games a little bit. What's your problem? But but now it's the way that you can pay the $1,500 Tron Bonne game. You can get literally that exact same game for like $7 on PS3, and it's bit for bit the same ISO file. Like, that's awesome in a sense.
Yeah, I just it just feels like there should be a way to do it on the PS3 side without you needing to like fuck with slots.
Yeah, they could have done more. They could have done like
it could have been the exact same ISO file, and the PS3 could have handled, like, you don't ever have to know that there's fake virtual slots in this. But I don't know. I didn't make the PS3.
Listen, doing something that's just enough and not more than that is Sony's whole brand, but specifically the PlayStation 3's brand for sure. They were like trying to patch holes on that thing since the moment the system launched. It didn't have a digital download store when it launched.
Yeah, it had a rough launch too. Like people buying it.
Or maybe
it was like $800 when it launched, right?
Maybe it didn't have digital downloads when it was announced, but by the time it hit market, it did have one because they had already seen the success of XBLA.
Boiling?
Oh, whoops.
Jordan, you say that your coffee is boiling? Are you boiling coffee?
Jordan, are you using a percolator?
You percolating? Coffee is boiling. Are you doing cowboy coffee?
Jordan.
That's when you...
Wow, it's so ironic that... Listen, if I don't have my guide here to help me, then I'm taking a pee break.
Okay, I'll just sit here and
deal with it.
Everyone just feel the silence. Star Crash's my favorite facts from that generation is that the 360 didn't launch with HDMI and the PS3 was announced with 2 HDMI ports. Yeah, I remember. I used two things. I did use the component cables for a long time with my Xbox, and that was fine. But I did eventually switch to VGA. I used the VGA adapter.
I'm back. Ooh, are we talking about VGA adapters?
Yeah, Star Crash said that that their favorite facts from the 360 generation was that the 360 didn't launch with HDMI and the PS3 was announced with 2 HDMI ports. Which is kind of funny.
Wait,
although I don't feel like the PS3 was announced with 2 HDMI ports, but the 360 didn't have an HDMI at launch.
Yeah.
Which I think is fine. I think Posit looks good as hell.
You mean component? Okay.
Component looks good.
Component looks fine. HDMI is...
It looks different. It does not always look better.
Well, what do you mean it
but the
doesn't?
VGA
How does it not always look better?
Well, I think that so I recently got so one thing is like when you're upscaling.
This is my sister roll.
When you're upscaling, I think that the HDMI has a tendency to do a bit too much. And so I think you get a nicer look from something upscaled with component versus HDMI.
Well,
that's one scenario.
I mean, component and HDMI are just cables. They can't upscale anything. So if you're seeing bad upscaling, it's the device or the TV it's giving you some bad upscaling. Like, upscalers have to be in either displays or devices, so it would be different depending on whatever device you're using. For example, the PS3 did not have an upscaler. So its whole thing was touting that it had quote-unquote true HD being 1080p instead of the 360.
Is this why you have to manually swap? No, that wouldn't be why you have to manually swap.
The 360 did have an upscaler in it, but it rendered everything at 720 and just upscaled it, if you remember. So like when you're playing a 360 game in 1080, it's really in 720 and they're stretching it to 1080. But the upshot of that was you could actually get a 1080 signal out of the fucking machine, unlike the PS3 that's like, no, that just runs almost every game in 1080. Or there were some games that wouldn't let you run it in 1080, but you could trick it by telling the PS3, you could lie to your PS3 and tell it didn't support 720, and so it would force 1080 in like Uncharted 2, but then maybe the frame rate would be lower or something. Like really weird shit. All right, where do I go?
Yeah, true, it had true HD.
Yeah. And true HD means we're not upscaling anything. Something. Oh. SNLMP says something about the panning in this game is nauseating. Maybe it's the slow start. Maybe it's the speed with which it go. I'm also getting it in 30 or 60 frames. It looks kind of choppy in XSplit. I don't know what's going on there, but sorry.
Yeah, there's this way that old games do camera where if you can imagine like a pole extending out behind like the character where it's like so rigid, you turn and it just turns, right?
Yeah.
I feel like newer games, there's like a dead zone where the camera...
Right, the camera the camera changes in relation to the character as it's panning and then goes back to its original position when you stop.
Yeah, so there's like this sort of like black and white like it's very binary, the panning, where there's sort of like this like bendiness to modern camera movements that I think like makes it seem more natural.
Keith, look, the Yas planes.
Oh, I love the Yas planes.
Yas planes. Apple Market. So this is where I am. And I think there's like a dungeon over here, but it's like it's locked. And listen, I need help. I know someone in this chat knows this fucking game.
Looks like you just went in it.
No, this is just another thing. I'll show you. But oh,
it's also on the triggers, right? The pan, so you can never do it just a little bit. That's another thing.
It's on the shoulder buttons, so I can't. You're right. I can't do slow panning. It's like one speed.
Oh, Jordan's back, but can't help you.
If you don't know what you should be doing, talk to Roll or the monkey robot. Jordan, were you percolating coffee? Well, I'm sorry. Were you using a stovetop percolator?
Yeah. Why was your coffee boiling?
Why was your coffee boiling, Jordan? Answer the question.
There's no way to do it. It could have also just been a full immersion. Were you fully immersing?
Are you supposed to boil that?
Yeah. You bring your coffee and your water up to a boil, and then you it's sort of like a French press where the water starts room temperature.
I would imagine though, but once it starts boiling, you turn it off and then let it sit there.
So it is full immersion. Jordan says I make coffee over a campfire and an old boot.
Ha.
Okay, no. Jordan was just lying about the coffee boiling. It meant just the water was boiling.
I hate that. I hate when people do that.
Yeah, I really just hate when people just lie like that.
I know. I hate when they're gosh. You know, because Jordan was trying to save time. He didn't want to say the water for my coffee is boiling. He's trying to cut corners. But then when you cut a corner like that, sometimes you leave your friends scrambling, desperate to find any explanation for your madness.
What I like is jump for me. Love that. It's a great
jump. It is a great jump. He's going for it. It's like they actually looked at what it looks like when people jump a far way. You gotta land on your legs.
I like his hair. He looks like Teen Gohan.
Yes. I think
like Teen Gohan in a parasuit.
I think there were a lot of people that were mad about this and wanted him to have his helmet because they didn't think he looked Mega Man enough.
No,
I think
great.
I think you can put on the helmet if you want, who cares? Or maybe it's about to be forced upon me.
Nagano says straight from the sign, the other straight. So you want to go straight from that sign. of this when games used to not hold your hand.
To town.
To town.
Nagano's probably behind and was like, no, that was you already started going the right way and then turned around again. Yeah.
Because to me, this isn't straight. This is clearly right.
Well,
the sign that said to town said straight, but you immediately started turning right.
Ah, but now I've turned left. Oh, here we are. Oops.
Yeah, Victor says he's in 5/6 of the Mega Man costume. Yeah, it was.
They call you Mega Man all the time as one word, like it's your first name. It actually is his first name, I guess, which is weird.
My name's Mega Man Johnson.
You know, his name's supposed to be Rock, but instead we have
Rock Johnson.
Instead we have Mega Man and his sister Roll.
Someone already named Rock Johnson.
That's the Rock.
This Rock is his middle name,
and no one's ever called him the Rock Johnson, and you know that.
It's his first name is Dwayne his middle name is Rock,
and his last name is Rock Johnson, like Bing Ringo.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Yeah, that's his name.
So these ones are hiding from the police.
Why do the police want these guys?
I think it's literally like, who parked this ship here?
You're too late. I already gave you a ticket, see?
And he says he's heading back to the station, but he stays there.
No, he's walking. He's walking away.
No, he's not.
Oh, it looked like he was walking.
Yeah, see, I know.
He is walking, but he's not doing anything.
And he's all like...
Do you know why this gate's got a big N? Because it leads to the north. That's why. An interesting fact.
Oh, right.
Oh, could you just press X on the door and that let you go through?
I've been in here before, but yeah, that held me up before also, is thinking it was...
You hate doors in games.
I hate doors. Listen,
you just see a door and you go, that's a wall. That's an impassable wall.
Keith, or maybe PS1 games were a little shitty about doors.
Huh.
Look,
ooh, you can kick. You can do a little kick. That rules.
There's a karma system in this game.
People don't like this game? So far, this is the best PS1 game I've ever seen.
No, people do like this game.
I've only ever heard people not like it.
There's a can you can. There's a karma system, and I think you get good karma for kicking it in the trash and bad karma for kicking it like in a store or something. It was very weird, but like...
Seems like they didn't make it super easy to kick it into the trash, though.
Your armor color...
Really
your armor color gets like one shade darker every time you do the bad thing, and then eventually you're a black Mega Man.
That is pretty sick.
I mean, black armor.
Hey, maybe there's
Mega
an open
Man.
trash can somewhere that you need to maybe press. Hey, can someone tell us how to open the trash can lid? Oh, no, I thought maybe that was an open one, but it's not.
It's a garbage pail. Is there anything inside? Oh. Well, that's
I wonder
good.
if there's one inside the other. Something inside the other one.
Well, let's just keep going.
Oh
no!
You can read magazines in the bookstore, so that seems pretty good.
Oh, look at this shit, Keith.
Yeah.
We need a citizen's card.
Citizens, so you need a citizen's
No, we're
card.
we're not citizens. Only citizens can get through this door. Extremely
You gotta join
cool.
the army if you want to be a citizen.
No. Yeah, I know that.
Hey, can I borrow your citizen card?
Look at this photo dictionary that's being advertised in the back.
I can't really see because the Twitch chat is covering half of the screen share. Oh, nice.
Books folio.
Books folio.
Hip bone. That's pretty good actually. That's a fucking great
really
name.
Dressmaker Hip Bone.
Hip bone is a killer name for a dress store. Forget it. Jet Lag Bakery.
Jet Lag Bakery. That's weird. We're not in a... I guess we are. This is sort of like a spaceport, right?
It's an island, yeah. I mean, it's an island that presumably you're only getting to if you're flying in. We haven't seen any boats. We've only seen flying ships. It's hard to tell. High Neck
single.
Record Shop. Is that
Digital
do you like that?
audio.
Record disc. RDs. It's all about RDs these
That's
days.
the future to me.
We know that.
Digital record discs.
What do you think about the High Necked Record Shop?
I think it's good.
Staple Electric Goods Store.
I think that's just a staple.
It's Staple.
I'm not sure that's an S. I think it's a nice.
It
sort of
is an
Thunderbolt
S.
to let you know that this is an electronics store. It's like Thunderbolt. Staple.
It's Staple. Yeah, you're right. Wait, there's another bakery called Shark Skin over here. Anyway,
I love this. This is great.
Jim, even if we play tag,
tag, I don't have to run, see? Cause I'm the king of the hill around here.
the fuck? Wait,
I'm glad I decided on the exact right voice for that guy.
wait, now the cover goes up, but it didn't before, I think.
Maybe it only goes up after you've taken something out of it.
Yeah. Ah. ID card? Oh. Be so fucked up if there was an ID card in there.
Wait, kick it.
I'm good. Keith, I'm so confident about this, I don't have to test it. But I will, just to soothe your whatever.
Yeah. We figured it out. And now we can probably kick the thing in.
Now, I'm sure we can kick the thing in. You know,
If we can get it in, we can kick it in.
I'm an expert at getting it in. Whoever was playing.
You know what I got mad about?
What? What are you mad?
Did you ever have a teacher that was like a stickler about may I, can I?
Not really, but I know the.
No.
I know that. Yeah.
Stupid. It's just stupid. Because it's like,
You thought about that?
if
'cause I'm
you say that I
a
may
can.
not go, then I can't because I'm a kid.
Right.
I am like,
I know. It's like pretending that they don't understand the authority they have over you.
right. Yeah, totally. I'm allowed to tell you that you may not go, but you always can. And it's like, what are you talking
it's
about?
Like this is a very dumb language gymnastics you're doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, there's two types of able, right? Physically able and whatever, and like and being allowed to by the rules of the place that I am in that has a total supreme power over me.
It's you, the one who's supposed to be an adult, intentionally misunderstanding me, asking, am I allowed to go? And pretending that I meant, am I physically capable of peeing?
Right. Now, if this was a confusion, like earlier, Jordan said coffee's boiling, and we're like, what do you mean your coffee's boiling? Like, if there was ever a situation where may and can could be mixed up and it would cause confusion, that's one thing, but that's literally never happened. It's happened one time.
Not in that scenario.
It's happened one time in my whole life, which was that in Gen 1 Pokemon, if a Pokemon got paralyzed, it would say it may not attack, meaning it might not, but I interpret it as cannot. And then when they would attack anyways, despite being paralyzed, I would get very confused.
That's funny. I never got that from that. But that's totally makes sense for a kid to misunderstand. And the thing with the coffee is that there are a couple ways to boil your coffee. It's just that they're unusual ways of making coffee. So I was like, is Jordan making coffee atypically? That would be fun to know. But no, he was just making coffee normally. Like a rube.
Postrabanist says I changed my name to something comprehensible. Pardon the delay. Sure. Don't know.
Okay, great.
Don't know who you are, but thanks for making a slightly more
I can tell
readable
because I see
name.
the S, the green S, was named like SNLMP.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I still think about Ben-Hur every time I see HD Her in our chat. Like, that's just become solidified in my brain as the actual truth of where their name comes from. Is like, I just think about a chariot race every time I see their name.
I've never seen it. I barely know about it.
I mean, I've never seen it. I just know about it. I mean, I've seen clips.
You're a big Charlton Heston fan,
Yeah,
but not a fan of watching the movies.
Oh God, I love Charlton Heston so much.
Yeah. You love to just know about Charlton Heston movies and not see them.
You can see how I'm stuck, right? This fucking game.
Yeah, but what I haven't seen is why. What did the girl in the monkey robot tell you? Jordan said talk to them to find out what to do, and I saw you talk to them, but I didn't see you say,
Keith.
"Oh, they said this."
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to remind you of the clue that you ignored.
Oh, God damn it. What? The monkey is just the save monkey. I fucking love his little dance. What? What? Okay. Alright, thank you, little monkey. I'm one step closer to the first level of this game.
What did the monkey say? I missed it.
The monkey was like, the junk store owner wants to thank you for a thing that you did. Go talk to them.
Nice. And that's probably where we'll get the part to fix
Tell
up
me,
that old car.
what should I do? I wonder what the junk store man's going to give us. I can't wait to find out. Where's the junk
monkey doing this little monkey dance?
Oh, no. But I don't know where the junk store is. Nah. I mean, I'll check back in there. This could be a junk store. You don't know.
I sort of assume that it's in the mall area.
Oh, now here's a dungeon. This must have been like the tutorial one I did at the beginning. This is like what the game looks like most of the time. And you're like, I gotta shoot these.
Oh, well, this kind of sucks. This is not as good.
Yeah, this does kind of suck.
I would like if 80% of the game was running around a cool place and talking to people.
Yeah, I don't know that that's the actual breakdown of what you spend your time doing in this game.
I'm glad that we are getting some Zelda money, though.
You mean Zenny?
Zenny must be what they call rupees in the future.
Oh, I've got a look behind my head button. No.
Where's the button where you play the game good?
I believe I get more upgrades as I play, so I would hope this changes. But right now, the most frustrating thing about the game is that there's no magnet zone for picking up those gems. Like, my character model must touch them, and it's way more annoying than you would think. You know, because you miss it, and then you're like trying to get. I only have a strafe on my D-pad, so I'm trying to strafe into it.
Oh no, watch out. There's more of these worm things. Be careful of their segments.
Done.
I'm gonna log out.
Anyways, I guess that's Mega Man Legends. I didn't find where to go, but I did say we were gonna stop I said we were gonna stop in 20 minutes 40 minutes ago, so we should stop.
Well, it turned out that kicking that can and like walking down and reading all the signs in the store was more fun than playing the actual game. So if we did this instead of doing that 20 minutes ago, I would have been like, we should stop doing this.
Nagano says there is an upgrade for picking up stuff, which is nice.
Nice.
Actually, I said the 20-minute thing back when I was going to do Dynasty Warriors, and then Jordan was here like, I like Mega Man Legends, and I was like, Jordan can help me, and Jordan was like, yes I can, and then Jordan was like, I have to go back to work now.
And Jordan boiled some coffee and then fucked off.
Yeah. Thanks for nothing, Jordan.
I'm gonna boil some coffee soon, I think. Ready for some boiled coffee.
Hey Keith. Shit, how am I getting out of here? Oh no. Maybe I've already screwed myself. Hey, I'm gonna be on the Cape Thursday. Do you wanna do either recording or some board games like Thursday night? Or like could come over Thursday and then we could record Friday.
Is the first. I think I can do Thursday.
Where do you think the junk store owner is? Let's go see if there was a junk store in there. I don't remember a junk store.
There was 2 electronic stores, I think. One of those might be the junk store.
Yeah, I don't... Ah! Hey, wait a minute.
Junk store guy?
What are they called? Are you a digger? Yeah, I can dig it. Everyone's wanting to be a digger these days.
Is a digger what they call just like someone who...
I'm like a 4,000-year-old robot. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know anything about this universe. Okay.
What is the basic gist of Mega Man?
So we know that this isn't the...
As a franchise. Some guy builds a robot, the robot goes evil, and then builds a good robot to fight the evil robot. Is that Mega Man?
Yeah, I mean the Mega Man X, and Mega Man Legends are they're like 3 different properties that all ostensibly take place on one timeline. And Mega Man is I think it's supposed to be one of those things like, oh, the robots go bad because they don't have morality. But Dr. Light created Mega Man, the first robot that can think and feel, and so he's the good robot, and they've got to stop the bad robots that have gone nuts or something like that. And then
the real dungeon of this game is trying to kick this can into the trash.
Yeah, and then Mega Man, I don't think I can. I think Mega Man X is like, what if there was tons of thinking robots? Then Mega Man X might be like, psych, now it's even more morally complex when all the robots can think and feel, or something like that. I don't know. And then I think
when they think and feel, they still decide to be evil.
Yeah, it's not fucked up. Or no, maybe there's actually a virus that makes them turn evil. And like Zero is called Zero because he's like the first Reploid. He's the first one of these new types of robots, which that's exactly the same exact relationship between Mega Man and Proto Man. That Proto Man was the prototype Mega Man.
Right. So you're talking about the
original,
the prototype Ultimate Life Form, and the life form as in Shadow the Hedgehog.
Exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm. No. More like other guy makes bad robots, good doctor makes good robots to fix it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's
Dr. Wily.
I think there's a little bit more. There's a little little bit more to it than that, but that's basically
more nuance.
I think there's a bit more nuance.
Service not acknowledge the nuance.
Yeah,
in the
really
timeline.
That's what I'm saying. There's a sign that says junk in large letters.
Yeah, okay. I was just seeing that. It's in very large letters. It says.
I can't wait to see how fucking large these letters are. But you know, hey.
Okay, the letters might be large, but how close do you have to be before they render?
Hey, I'm willing to be the one with egg on my face, but I'm just, this person's talking real big. These letters better be so fucking big they knock me out of my chair. If you're gonna come into my chat with this kind of attitude.
I can't wait to hear you fall.
Oh, let's see how big these fucking letters. They're probably enormous. Oh, we missed Taylor Chinos. Hip bone.
Folio.
Junk shop. It's
yep,
fucking huge.
Pretty big.
Listen, we all know that I was mostly just talking to Keith and running around in circles and not actually looking.
And then pretending that it was so hard to find because of how hard you're looking.
Uh-huh. Yes. No. There's... Surely this junk shop is the only one in this city that has a T14 hyperdrive generator.
Hippopotamus.
Definitely hippopotamus. Yes! Yes!
We're rewriting history.
The greatest game ever! Please let me talk to her and have her say, call me Mr. Hippopotamus. Alright, whatever. All I'll say is I challenge anyone out there to try to have a jovial conversation with their friend as they're trying to find their way in a game they're not familiar with. You'll see how hard it is. It's surprisingly difficult. I know you're thinking you could never miss a junk shop sign that big.
I think it's easy.
I know you think you'd never miss a junk shop sign that big, but I promise you would.
Ooh,
anyways, that
ship is floating now.
It was already floating. We're probably at the end of our time with Mega Man, but hey.
Man, were you able to find anything?
At great cost,
now.
yes.
I guess we'll have to
My name's Hippopotamus now. I've become a local.
That might take a while. Which means... Huh? Mega Man, what's that? It looks like a weapons upgrade module.
It sure is.
Yeah, the junk store man gave it to me. He said we could use
Mega Man's voiced in this? I didn't notice.
I was gonna say both of those voices sound the same.
Well, come on then. Let's get it attached right away.
I want to see a silent protagonist game where characters sort of just put words in your mouth all the time because you don't talk, so they just like have a two-sided conversation with you where they're playing you.
Do you want me to explain what this weapon does again?
Yes.
This weapon lets you use landmines. Just drop them in front of an oncoming enemy and boom! Just remember, there's a limited number of mines, so make sure you use them sparingly. Do you want me to explain what
I sort of feel like in real life,
no.
You know,
I'll get to work on
if you're always
fixing
getting
this
into
car.
conflict, it's probably
I'll be
you
able to
that's
help you
the
out and maybe spot things if I can get
conflicty
it running
person.
again.
Yeah, it's true for games too. Like, I bet most of these people in this world aren't getting into fights all the time where they need land.
Oh yeah,
What's
like
wrong with Mega Man?
these are their whole thing is going into caves and killing old evil robots and like taking the treasure that's in there. So like, yeah, these people are shit stirrers. They're not trying to make a
Mega
quiet
Man, why do you
living.
gotta stir the pot?
I love Roll's character design in Mega Man Legends. Really, the true shame is that you have to play as Mega Man and not Roll.
There you are. I've been looking for you so I could give you this. Your citizen's card.
Oh, so they just give you one
Who
if
is
you don't
Roll?
have
Is Roll the
one.
redhead?
There are
I
some
would call her
reasons.
blonde, but sure.
Okay.
Why's that?
It's sort of reddish, isn't it? Or is maybe just thinking of her clothes are red.
Yeah.
Indicates there are some headed this way. So as a precaution, we're evacuating the civilians and locking the gates.
Hi, Ritz.
I thought they said excavating the
Our
citizens.
grandfather is still inside the city. Will he be all right?
Well, I'm sure he's heard the announcements about the pirates. If I see him, I'll make sure he gets to a safe place.
Now you could see why I was thrilled with how quickly Tron Bonne got to the game part of it. Like, I was complaining about the length of the cutscenes in that one, but at least after the cutscenes were over, I got to play the game.
Okay.
It's fair, but I do think that that this part is a better part than the combat part.
All right, it sounds like I might go in here and then fight a thing.
Maybe.
I
I
can't-
thought it's
I-
been sounding like you were about to stop playing for a while.
Well, I just thought if I could go in here and there's a fight, at least that would be a part of the game. But it looks like no. Instead, they're having a secret meeting. Oh.
Ooh, you should be careful.
Oh. There's a walk button.
Stealth. More like a stealth button. Do you have to sidle or can you do it forward?
No, this is just my own personal touch. What the fuck? Oh
Maybe
my-
the
this
problem
is
was the
so-
sidling.
This is so great. All right, let's see. Like classic like stealth section that just makes no sense. Whisper, whisper. Okay.
Seems like some
It's the blue guy.
ill-conceived vigilante justice.
They
here.
call me the blue hippopotamus. Oh. All right. There's a cutscene probably about to happen, but we're leaving now. Thank you everybody for watching this this edition of the Run Button Snooze Button. Oh, you know what, Keith? We have outro music.
I've already got
actually.
it. I've already got it.
No, stop it. Turn it off,
You
Keith.
keep forgetting. It's not my fault
I
that
have
you
it
keep
right here.
doing 80% of the outro.
But you started playing yours literally as my mouse was hovering over the play button. Like, it's just not helpful.
No, it just got a fade in. It just got the fade in. You skipped.
Is my
ahead.
fucking one not playing?
I hear it.
Oh, well, I'm glad you hear it. Then you outro the show and say goodbye at the part where the music comes in. I'm the one who can't hear it this time.
Here, now can you hear that?
Yeah, but now they're hearing it twice.
You think so?
Yes.
Do you think they like that?
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Go to contentburger.biz. This is our Patreon. Sign up for our Patreon.